find the following footage deeply disturbing.
Welcome to the Lion's Den podcast. Before we dive into today's episode, we have a brief disclaimer to share. The views and opinions expressed by the guests on the Lion's Den podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Lion's Den podcast, its hosts, or affiliates. All content provided by our guests is of their opinion and is not intended to malign anyone or anything. Additionally, by participating in the Lion's Den podcast, our guests grant permission for their likeness, voice, and views shared during the podcast to be recorded and used in future episodes, promotional materials, and any other content produced by the Lion's Den podcast. This permission is granted without any expectation of compensation or royalties. Thank you for understanding, and we hope you enjoy today's episode of the Lion's Den podcast.
What's up, my brother? Welcome to the Lion's Den once again this week, Friday night at the fights. We are having fun. I think we're going to enjoy this subject. One of the crew is running a little late. He's a little behind. He's out enjoying himself with the family. Oh, he's just getting in, he said. So he shall be joining us soon. I think this will be a great topic. Why? Because all y'all going overseas. I know y'all went over there. Y'all stopped on that plane. Y'all got off that plane, and all of a sudden you said, oh, like me. The first time I went, I got dropped off at the airport, and this girl that worked at the duty-free shop, I was like, God damn, they got them over here. Duty-free. Back. I got to come back. How can I come back? The fortunate thing, I could fly over there once a month. But how do you keep a long-distance relationship with someone? Do you keep one? I mean, you find that chick and you know she the one. You can't get her back here fast enough. You can't go over there quick enough. So all you got is WhatsApp, I think Skype at the time, Telegram, however you can communicate with her. But I want to know, do those relationships even work? What's she doing on Friday night when she ain't talking to you? When you can't get a hold of her? Should you be worried? Do you care? But what if that girl's so fine? You like, boy, oh boy. She mine. She mine. And let's just say you really lucked up. You got you a good Catholic woman or a Buddhist. And you said, this is the type of woman I've been looking for. But y'all distances away. You way on one side of the country. Matter of fact, you in a whole different time zone. Welcome to the show, sir. You in a whole different time zone. When it's 10 o'clock in the morning here, it's 10 o'clock at night there. What do? How can you keep talking to her? How can y'all keep this relationship going? And do you think it works if you can only get over there once every quarter? Well, let's talk about it. On the panel today, we have Black Man Travels, and Ronan, and myself, that somehow, through against all odds, we made it work. The long distance thing worked. And I think my man Kanal may have had the longest time distance prior to that with his relationship going long distance. So I want to hear your stories. We're going to tell you our stories. We want to not only hear the good, but we want to hear the bad, because Fearless do got bad stories. You know, it wasn't always cookies and cream with me. Remember that girl I told you about that I met at duty free? Oh, weekend. Yeah. It was great. Wasn't nothing serious. One day when I was coming back, she said, I got something to tell you. You got something to tell me? She said, yeah, well, I got drunk one night and, you know, something, I'm pregnant. What the hell? You're pregnant. It's not by me. You know, I'm just laughing. I wasn't hurt. I was like, you know, damn, how did you just, something happened? You just was out. You know, at that time I was trying to kick it with this other girl, but she was hating so much. She was putting salt in that game and not allowing me to. But that's what happened. She ended up, you know, getting pregnant, having a kid. You know, I mean, actually, we still Facebook friends to this day. I still laugh about it. Not an issue.
The French term is c'est la guerre.
C'est la guerre, yeah. The one girl who I was having fun with, Now she set it up good. Now there was a European guy, that was taking care of the whole household. And I didn't know that at the time. I guess she moved in to his house and was taking care of his house. And, I came to visit. And one day I just wanted to pop up. Well, I didn't know the brother from Europe was in town.
He didn't do the pop up.
He had to do it from Europe.
Call first.
Yeah, after the call, I was trying to surprise her. Surprise to me, surprise.
I got a story like that too.
Yeah. I didn't put no salt in the game because I knew what the game was. I just was like, hey, I'm an American. I'm trying to find, my friend. The weird thing is, since he was from Europa, as they say, he spoke English. So I couldn't play that stupid role. And he had it like, you coming over to see my girl. And I was like, I don't know who live here. I'm playing like, I got the wrong address, the street. I don't know where I'm at. And you know how some dude look at you like, bro, I know
like
you
sideways, like what?
I know you've been in these skins when I ain't been here. But I said, nah. I said, I don't know who your girl is. What was that chick's name? Mary Bell. Oh man, Mary Bell. Mary Bell gave me hell. Mary Bell. So I was like, it is what it is. But I didn't put no salt in the game. I knew what it was. But did it work? I've had people that I've had great successes with that on my travels that we kicked it for a very long time. I don't think it was the distance that got us. It was just the fact that sometimes, especially with a woman, they fall in love and they get upset when they can't have more of you. Life happens. Then I happened to meet my significant other, my wife. Man, that was crazy because she lied to me when we first met. You know that?
What? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Oh,
I said, we met like on Facebook. I said, you know what? I'm gonna Skype you. She's like, oh yeah, you can Skype me. She ain't even had Skype. Didn't know what the hell Skype was. We tried to connect, and I was like, man, she don't even know what Skype is. We trying to talk, but we kicked in. The great thing about that was, she had a good mom, and her mom kept her in check. So even when she would tell me, hey, I'm going out with my friends, her mom would call me up and be like, do you know she's out? Like telling on her. Like, yeah. Yeah. So it's funny, Hey, we got a hater in here. You didn't go see anyone's girl. You're impotent. Hey, that's our friend Maya. See, you always got haters that come to you.
And you're more than welcome to stay. Don't touch her. Don't bounce her. Don't do nothing. Leave her alone. She can be in here.
To her. Even though she happened to talk about my wife, even though my wife didn't say anything to her. That's weird. Huh. Well, sometimes when you're a woman, you stay in a woman's place. Wife didn't have anything to say. Sometimes you got to be ghetto. Kanal, how you doing today? We talked about not trying to have no drama. I'm sorry that some people already bring drama onto the show. I want to know your story, my friend. You have a great story. Before you get to the story, I got to hear the nightmares.
I mean, sorry guys, I'm not coming up because I'm hungry, so I'm eating.
That's all right.
I mean, honestly, I never really had any issue with long distance relationship because I kind of prefer long distance relationship based on my personality. So I kind of really do well with long distance. My case situation was 7 years. But the good thing is she used to fly from DR to Miami to meet me. So I was always in DR like every other month. So really didn't really feel like it because we were constantly seeing each other. But for anyone who's considering and exploring that, you gotta be in a different place mentally, emotionally, to actually do that. It's not for everybody, and you can't be insecure. I mean, insecurity is a huge issue because the thing is, your mind could play with you, and you start thinking other things that you should not be thinking about. So that trust factor has to be there, communication has to be there, but also too that security has to be there as well. But for me, it's just like I felt like I wanted to make it work. We both wanted to make it work, and we did it. That's it. It's either we met in DR or she came here, or we actually went to another country and met up. We met up in Panama. We met in Colombia. We met in El Salvador. So there's things you could do to actually, make sure that you're spending time with that person.
Right.
And did you feel? I felt when I was doing that because prior to me really traveling and meeting people that I would kick it with, I mean, I had girlfriends that were local, and that was exhausting because I don't like to see people every day. You know, I wasn't the person who needed to be around someone every day coming over. It took away from my focus because, you know, as with any female, they want to go out, they want to spend time with you, they want to be around you, and I had too much going on. I just couldn't. It was too time consuming. It was much easier for me to get on a phone call or something once a day and save up my energy for when I seen them. So that allowed me to really focus on what I wanted to do. You feel the same way, or how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think this takes time to put yourself in that situation where you could actually do it. I never recommend anyone to do it who's not there mentally, because again, you probably go 30 days, 60 to 90 to even 6 months. I mean, at one point, you know, I didn't see the person for a good 6 months because I was traveling a lot. You know, this is before the pandemic. You know, I couldn't do it, so we just had to do a lot of video chatting, and it's what it is, man. But you know, again, you really got to check your ego. You got to check your insecurities because your mind tend to play tricks on you if you allow it. Especially if you call and she doesn't answer the phone or she doesn't respond to your text. It's just like you can't expect everyone to respond to you when you reaching out to them. So, being realistic here.
So, what about prior to your girl now? You know, the people you may have dated, and it doesn't have to be internationally. You know, it could have been locally. I mean, I've had long distance relationships with people. What was it called? It was Delta, but they used to have something called Com Air. And then used to be able to get these passes and fly back and forth. And I think she lived in North Carolina. So we would do like the every once a month thing. We'd buy 4 passes and do it like that. But that still seemed.
I've dated one person when I was in Miami and she lived in New York. And every 3 months we'll fly back and forth. She had to fly down to Miami or I flew up to New York. And even in Chicago, I dated someone who was like 4 hours away from me. And every weekend I would drive down, like Friday after work, drive down, come back Sunday. So again, I never been the personality to where I need to see the person every single day. Like, give me a reason to see you and miss you. Just like talking on the phone. I don't need to talk to you on the phone every single day. I may send, hey, you know, what's up? Is everything fine? And that's it, keep it moving. But some people are not like that.
Do you think if you were a younger person, do you think that's a better relationship for you? I found that was better for me when I was younger because I could really spend my week doing what I needed to do and focus and not have to worry. And then to me, that was like my happy hour. I'd go wherever I needed to go, whether that be a weekend or for, you know, a long weekend. And then I could just really unwind. And I didn't have to worry about that day-to-day stress that, you know, relationships can bring.
No, my younger self wouldn't be able to do it because I was more of an instant gratification guy. As I gotten older, I learned to have to be patient. But my younger self, I was a Thundercat, man. I was on the go. It's like, nah, you know, if I don't see you, out of sight, out of mind. I just go did my own thing. But as I gotten older, I've learned to appreciate my space and appreciate the other person around me because we haven't spent a lot of time together.
Correct. I know one person in here says, of course you prefer long distance. You can smash other girls between seeing your main. Man,
that's true.
But here's the thing. But the quote that I put up before is, you can, what is it? You can spend all your money chasing girls, or you can, how does that go? Damn, I just had that in my head. I'm sorry, fellas. You can spend all your time chasing money, or you can spend all your time chasing girls. Y'all know what it is. To me, I just didn't have the time. It wasn't about smashing. I guess when you get to a certain point in your life, that's the easy part. The smashing was easy. I could do that anytime I wanted. My issue would become, I don't even want you to be around because in my mind, man, that means I got to have you over here. I got to try to find an excuse to get ready. I got to find an excuse not to have you over again. I don't want you to come unexpected. That was the easy part of smashing. I didn't have to. I didn't want the relationship aspect of it. You know, if I could just have a friend with benefits, that would have been much better. You know, but the smashing part.
I want to respond to that, man. 1, 2, 3. For me, when I'm single, I'm single. I do whatever I want, how I want. And I'm very transparent. But when I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship. So
yes,
that's the thing about me. Because like I'm rarely into a relationship. So when I am, I'm fully committed. But when I'm single, It's what it is. It's just like, and I'm very transparent. I'll let a woman know that I'm seeing other people, or I have no desire to pursue anything serious, and I make sure that they're okay with that.
Yeah.
So
let me co-sign on that. I've done the same thing, whether it was in the States or now overseas. I've dated several women throughout the country. They've all known about each other, and they've all understood their position as far as, you know, when I would be able to see them, not see them. I took Sam to the beach every time I traveled. I had accompaniment with me. I didn't go to monger. I went to go enjoy the sights and live vicariously through the woman that I was treating while they were with me.
Yep.
But have y'all had any bad experiences? Like, you know, I've dated people from long distance, and then it became to the point where I was like, I dated this traveling pharmacist, and I remember there was just a time I was like, man, I just don't feel like driving up there. I just don't, you know, when she didn't travel, I was like, man, it just wasn't worth it. And I know that's sad, but I was like, it's time to move on. I just couldn't do it. Drew, how you doing, Drew? Welcome to the show, and my friend. Salute to the Lions Den. Salute my brothers, and salute to the panel. You will lose money chasing women. Boy, oh boy. But you will never lose women by chasing money. Aloha on my Friday.
Hello.
Aloha, brother, from, what's that? Hang loose in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You are correct about that. And so the gentleman who said you can smash, to me, it was something I didn't want to do, because it was just a money grab. I didn't want to have to take the time of like, I got to take you out. I got to get to, that was too much effort. I was chasing something else. I was chasing other things that mattered more. So it actually worked out. But there were times when, you know, where it just came to an end. I was like, yeah. Or, I don't know, man, my regret. I knew I had a regret. And this is when I was trying to be like you, and I was trying to be transparent. I was trying to be transparent. I met a girl from Boston. I was trying. I met a chick from Boston. She was Cape Viridian. Luda. Damn, I still remember this chick's name, Luda, because I used to call her Ludacris. Luda from Boston. No, Rhode Island. And this was the time that the Patriots were going to the Super Bowl. So I had met her prior to that. Great woman. But then I was out, and I met this fine chick. This chick that I had seen like previously for a couple of years. But I think at that time she may have had a dude, but we just never made a connection. And I went out for my birthday, and I went out with these two young ladies. And the two young ladies I was with was, you know, they was just they was friends. They used to roll bikes with us, come through, but they was hard up, like, we're gonna get you somebody. We getting you here. We having drinks on my birthday. Long story short, I get the girl's number, and from day one, we kicking it. I mean, like, kicking it every day. And it came to the point where I had told the girl Luda that I was coming up there because they were having a Super Bowl party. I said, all right, what do I do? I said, all right, I'm gonna be honest. And I tried to say, look, I don't want to break up with this girl on the phone, because I just thought that was rude. I said, look, I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna tell Luda that you know, we can't roll no more. It's just, you know, I met somebody that's a little local. I can't do it. And I told that to the girl. I said, look, you know, I think because I was kicking it with this girl, she deserves a face-to-face, not an over-the-phone kind of thing. And the girl told me, you can go up there. But
I can tell by the tone where that was going.
Yeah, brother. So that long distance, you know, and that's, I think, of anything, I did kick it with the other chick for a couple of years. Yes. But I did regret that decision of not going to Rhode Island to talk to Luda, because there was nothing she did wrong. She was a good girl, nice, beautiful woman, head on her shoulders. She did nothing wrong. It was just the circumstances that led me there. And that, you know, and that's when I guess the local person beat out over the long distance person. So, you know, those are the crazy stories. So,
I mean, for me, I think, you know, just being transparent, man. I've learned, my uncle taught me a long time ago, just, it doesn't make any point to ever lie, because even when you're telling the truth, they still think you're lying. So just be brutally honest. And I took that with me in my dating scene. I just be honest with them, and by being so transparent, a lot of women respected that more than anything. So even like in my travels, man, I was very transparent. Like, hey, this is what it is. If you take it or leave it,
right?
Because my thing is, I don't like to mislead anybody, and I want the person to want me as much as I want her. So I'm not gonna try to run any game or all this other shit that people try to talk about. No, this is me, and I'm at a point in my life where I'm looking for this. If it's not for you, it's okay. Keep it moving.
Let me say this real quick.
You never met a woman that you said that to, and then she used that against you at a later time.
Let me say this.
She can't, because she already knew where I stood.
Don't say they can't. They can.
No. That's the point. They already knew where I stood. Like, hey, this is what it is.
Let me explain to you. You say, look, I've had it. Look, I'm single. I'm not with anyone, and I'm going to date other people. The phone rang. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I got company right now. Oh, you got company? You know I'm dating. You know, I mean, it's not like a thing. I'm being honest. I told you I was today. And you know, I was going. I had plans. I have company right now. That's how it is.
I mean, see, the thing is, you just made it more complicated by answering that call. I wouldn't answer it. If I'm with someone, I wouldn't.
I had nothing to hide from either one of them. So one person knows I'm dating. They know I'm dating. You should just, if we say it, you know, to be forefront. You know, I don't have to. I think that's more dishonest. So I'm like letting the phone ring.
No, it's not being dishonest. It's like, I may be busy. I'll let, you know, she could think whatever she wants, but it's just like, by me telling her that, you just make the situation worse. She already knows you're seeing other people, but you don't need to say it. So it's like, you could have easily not answered the phone call. Hey, oh yeah, I was busy. I was studying. Oh, I was doing something. That's it. So now, if she's calling, you pressing end, she knows that you getting her calls and you're not responding, but you just let it ring. Hey, I left my phone in the car.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Huh?
I'm not going to do that. Let me get him in here real quick. I've been doing this since I was 19, because I joined the Marine Corps when I was 19, and I had a girl that was back home. She wanted to seriously want to date me. By then, I had already had my first son, and that's one of the reasons why I dropped out of college and went into the Marine Corps. So I told her, I said, look, you already know I'm about to go to California. This is back in the Midwest, Kansas. So I told her, look, we can stay friends. You know, we can kick it when I come back into town, when I'm on leave and stuff. You know, if you have a boyfriend, that's great, wonderful. We can still be friends at that. But if I come into town and you're available, then we can kick it. No big deal. Nobody gets their feelings hurt. We can still be friends at the end of the day. No expectations. Fine. Every time I would come into town on leave, when it was holiday time or whatever, we kicked it. You know, she would call about a week before, let my mom know she was looking for me, which let me know she was available. So I would call her up when I got into town. There's a couple times I did the fearless thing. I popped up on her at her house. She was staying with her grandmother at the time, so I would go, and her grandmother snatched me in the door because she loves me. Oh, Alex, you're home. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, pulled me in. One time I get pulled in the house. She's got a young man standing there or sitting there with her on the couch. No problem. I run into the kitchen with her grandma. We're having a conversation. I'm hearing a conversation side ear in the living room. You got to go. He was like, what? This is the guy I was telling you about. You got to go. This is what she explained to me later. So basically, she had an honest conversation even with that guy. Hey, I'm really feeling this other guy. He's in the military. He's gone a lot. We can kick it. If we get to a point where we're in an actual relationship, I won't see the guy anymore. But if we're not, and he comes into town, I'm gonna tell you he's in town, and I can't contact you while he's in town. I want to spend time with him. Okay, honest, upfront. So I guess he thought he had enough play on her that she wasn't going to do that to him until I walked through the door. And sure enough, she escorted him to the door, you know, gave him a nice little church hug, pushed him on his way. Came in the kitchen, sat down, and we had a good day. You know, but I've always had that mentality, out of sight, out of mind. Even when I was in the military, while I was married, I'm on mission. I cannot drive myself crazy understanding or figuring out what my wife is doing back home in a whole nother place where she's comfortable and I'm in danger trying to get a mission done. You cannot have that kind of mindset when you're doing things like that. You know, so I would never question her on whether she was loyal to me or not. If she was home with my kids when I got back from whatever deployment, so be it. I'm not going to ask you, don't ask me.
But we say that. Now let's turn. Well, I'm gonna drill Kanal a little bit more.
You can drill me. Hey, you know what?
Now you say it like that. The choice of words, again, bro.
I've learned to simplify. I've learned to simplify my life, even during undergrad and graduate school. Y'all make shit complicated. I didn't have none of those issues that most guys tend to have, man. I'm like, nah, I didn't have that issue. Mm-hmm. So go ahead, man.
That way, because you made it work. So what would you suggest to someone else to make theirs work? Because we're going to talk about what made it work here. And then we're going to talk about the passport bros that's going over there falling in love and they don't know what to do because this chick got somebody else. So first we're going to talk about the good, then we're going to talk about the bad. So what did you do? What formula would I say that you use to be like, yeah, let me let this work, you know?
You know what? We just had an open communication, man. You know, and it was just very transparent. From the beginning, I told her, hey, this is my situation. Got out of a relationship and I was not interested in getting to another one. She was coming out of a relationship as well. And we kind of just took it slow. I never put any pressure. I was never the one that like, hey, where you at? You know, who you with? Where you going? That was never been me. I was the one that was telling her to go out. Like, go out and enjoy yourself. You know, go have fun, whatever. But I think it's just more the mental mind, the mental place that I was at the time. I was a very nonchalant person. So I didn't let things bother me. It was like, all right, whatever. But once I knew that I wanted to get serious, it was just like, all right, cool. This is what we're going to do now. We need to see each other more often. But I think it just takes a lot for that person to be in that space, man. And I think a lot of guys are not mature enough emotionally to be in that space.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, Kanal. You're talking about you. You're saying, hey, this is how I felt, and I was, emotionally, I was strong enough emotionally to handle it. Men think logically. So let's talk about how did your girl feel? You know, and here's the thing: you have a channel where it might show that you are out of the country, you're traveling, you're having fun. So I don't know if she's a female that has access to that, but let's just say she is. You post. You're a content creator. You're showing whatever. How does she feel about that? Because you can say, hey, I've done it. Hey, we ain't together. You know the rules. We're not together. And I can say that all I want. But being intimate with that woman, her caring about me, and her wanting to see me, no matter what the words I come out of my mouth, her emotions were entirely different. So how did your girl handle that?
You know what? She knew I was traveling. I was traveling like crazy too. You know what? I think, a lot of her friends were saying like, hey, you need to be careful. He's always traveling. He's probably seen other women. But I never made it feel that way. Like I was seeing other people. And if I was doing something, I kept that shit there. So it's like, I never stayed in touch with anybody. And, again, once I decided to become serious, it's like, all right, cool. I need to slow down with all the fuck shit. I don't need to put my business out there like that. So her thing was she needed to see me more often. And I made it happen to the point where I was there every other month.
But what if you just said,
I was in a position to do that?
Baby, I'm ready. hey, I done been to Brazil, I've been to Thailand, I've been to Colombia, I've been to all these places. Can't find nobody like you. Baby, I'm ready. And she say, well, Poppy, I got you. Hold up now. I got Jose. Now, me and Jose, we kind of been kicking it. You only that once every 2 months come here. We can have our fun. How would that have changed the relationship? Because it's easy as men for us to say this is what we do.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna tell you this. At one point, I kind of kept it open for her to explore her options. Like I let her know, like you can see other people.
That's fair.
Like because again, I was coming off a really rocky situation, and then the last thing I want to do, and again, it's my personality, I don't want to mislead or hold anyone back. So I was like, hey, explore your options, see what's out there. And there's times that I probably thought that she was probably seeing somebody else because there were days that she wasn't as responsive, and it's like, all right, cool, because I'm doing my shit. She's probably doing hers. I'm just being realistic. But once we had that talk, it was like, hey, where this is going? You're like, do you see anything? We both had that conversation, not just one person. Mm-hmm. That's when we decided, all right, let me take this shit more serious. I don't need to. I could scale back on going to this place. I could just go here more often. And I think the pandemic just brought us closer. It was just like, all right, cool, because I was out there for 2 months. With the especially lockdown in DR, you have to be in the house, at 12 p.m. All you got to do is get to know somebody.
4 p.m. with the weekends was noon, man.
Yeah, it was noon. I remember those days. I remember being stuck in the house at 12 noon, and you literally had to go rush to the store to get everything you need, so you can't go outside. But again, it goes back again to the mental mindset where that person is, man. I think even here in the States, I probably would have done a long distance relationship with someone in California, New York, Wisconsin, because I feel better in that type of relationship. My personality, I'm kind of like the lone wolf. So it's like I'm okay being by myself. And when I'm with you, I'm with you. Like you have my full divided attention.
Yeah.
So this whole thing that I could go smash other people, I ain't got time for that shit. I got hobbies, I got work. I'm trying to get another contract. I'm doing things to keep myself busy, man. I think when dudes get caught about, I can smash this chick, that dude doesn't have a life. That's too much energy being wasted.
I done put Canal on the spot. Seemed like he coming through with flying colors. He died in the weaving.
Hey, you know what? Like I said, even before travel, I never had an issue meeting women. It was just like because I always had that very nonchalant attitude, man. It's like, all right, cool, whatever. But I just that laid back dude, man. It's just like, all right, let's see where it goes.
Yeah, that was my thing. But I gotta admit, I wasn't always honest. I might have been honest with one chick, but wasn't honest with the other. And I remember I was at my brother's house, and I was with my nieces and nephews. He was going out, but they weren't young. They was maybe early teenager. And a knock came on the front door, and my niece was she went to the door. And you know how you have the door that has the glass so you can see out before you get there? So she is about to come down the hallway, and she comes back and she says the girl's name is here. But the girl that I was with was so cool. She was like, I'll just leave through the patio door. So she walked
she knew
through the front. I mean, it was no drama. It was like nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. And that same girl, I remember I had her in the house with, this is crazy. I had her in the house with another girl I was with. And I couldn't leave the room. I was in the living room. And I was like, I'm not leaving. Because I can't let them have a conversation.
Why? I've had 2 or 3 in the room together.
Because they didn't know about each other. I was in college at the time. So the one girl thought.
See, that's a little shiesty, bro. I'm going to have to call you on that. That was shiesty.
It was shy. Man, look. I was like 21 years old, and I was trying to have all my cake and eat it too, but I couldn't leave. I was like, I can't leave these chicks. I cannot leave them alone because my girl was trying to ask questions, and I just kept running interference. And I was like, man, this is crazy, man. But it got, when you're young, it got to the point I met this girl who who we kicked it, and still a good friend of mine today. And she actually lives in Atlanta. And I remember, I mean, this was maybe like 25. And she said the same thing that Kanal said. She's like, she was talking to somebody. I was like, you know, he kind of out there. She's like, I can respect him because he was honest with me. I said, oh,
yeah.
That's all you gotta be. You just gotta be honest.
All you gotta be.
I was like, wow, man, this is crazy that all you gotta be is honest. I said, let me do that. So, I'm trying to be nice with people in the chat, but
man, ignore that. Ignore that.
Friend, I'm trying to get
ignore
you.
That.
You're a bad dude, but
ignore that. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it.
They ain't doing nothing on a Friday night. So tell me, Rona, you tell me, brother, how did you do it? So I know the military kind of helped you out. Also,
yeah,
and what you just said was golden, because there was a gentleman I used to work with when I was in college. And he actually said, it was an older gentleman, and he said the same thing you said. He's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm like, man, you're not afraid? It was how they had their shifts and how his wife worked. And I said, man, you're not afraid she's gonna do something? He's like, man, like what do you want me to do? You want me
if she's yours, she's yours. You cannot grip onto a woman and make her stay with you. I don't care if you're married to her or not. If she's gonna creep on you, she's gonna creep on you. What are you gonna do? Cry over spilled milk? You know how many other women there are out there?
Yeah.
Let her go. Move the fuck on. It's that goddamn simple. I've never been that attached. Even if I say I love you, I'm sorry. I don't know if you want to call me a Libra personality or whatever, detachable real quick like a motherfucker. It did not matter to me. Whether I was married, when my second wife said, hey, after 9 years of marriage, nursing her back to health, decided she wanted to leave because she had never lived on her own. She was a kept woman through her parents until she got married, even though she already had a child. She was a single mother when I married her, but she always lived in her mother's home. When I married her, I took her out of that house. She's never lived on her own. So even after I nursed her back to health and she was back to about 90% from her disability, she goes, I've never lived on my own. I'd like to explore that. That was after 9.5 years of marriage. No problem. Long as I know where you're at and where you stand, I'm not going to try to hold on to you with iron fist. Mm-hmm. I've done my job as a man. I know I've done the right thing by you and your son, who wasn't even mine. So when she stepped away for about a year and then turned around and said, oh, I want to come back. It's the one thing I will not do. I do not ever backtrack with a woman.
Yeah, a girl told me that. She's like, how did she say? She's like, I'm from the country. And my granddad all told me you don't pick up your spit once you, like tobacco, once you put it out.
That's a good old term right there.
Yeah, it's like you don't chew it again. I was like, man, that's different. So yeah. I know I want to drill still with you and Kanal, because we talked about how we are as men. Because, like I said, we want our cake and eat it too.
Let me make this real quick statement. Understand, let me make this real quick statement before you go into this. And the guys that are listening, women too, the biggest thing between the three men that are sitting on this panel, we have realistic, non-delusional expectations when it comes to our women and our relationships. We're not delusional. We're not delusional. We understand reality. And we have no expectations when it comes to if we leave, if or when that woman decides to step off, if she does or doesn't, we're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Muted again. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you have to understand, most of the guys who so-called looking for love have insecurities, and it shows. It shows in these Facebook groups, these WhatsApp groups, these comments. A lot of these dudes are insecure dudes hoping that they could find a woman that could satisfy their needs, and it would never happen.
You know where else you can find a lot of those guys, Kanal? Right in the gym. A lot of those guys are insecure too.
I mean, you can find them in the gym, you can find them in the boardroom, but in traveling in particular, you find the most travelers. The dudes that want to go to these countries and want to control every aspect of that woman because he realized he has a good thing, a pretty girl that wants him. So he's trying to control everything about that. Hey, I'm paying your rent or all this and that, whatever. you can't do you can't do this and that or whatever. And I've seen that happen many times.
Kanal, before I ever went to Brazil, this is what made me want to go to Brazil. This guy, it was a friend of a friend. He went to Brazil and he met a fine chick. She was so fine. He wouldn't come back home to get his stuff. He told his buddy, "Can you just get my stuff together, pack it, and send it to me?" Because he was afraid if he left there that he might lose her. Like, are they that fine down there? I mean, is it, but that let me know that some guys are that insecure that they can't do it. And so I think that's what happens with a lot of these guys. When we say, do relationships work overseas? I got two things I want to play, and then we'll bring some people up on the plan on the live stream here. Two different ways. Let's see. First, we're going to go with the pro.
Okay, Crystal.
Let me hide this. Let me get us out here, guys.
Okay, Crystal. What's the key to making a long distance relationship work?
Trust. Yeah, if they want to be faithful, they'll do it.
If somebody's gonna do something, they're as women, I think we spend too much time trying to force men not to do certain things when like we should be focusing on just making them want us more. Being the best person you can be to them so that they naturally want to be with you instead of over there.
Yeah, and I can't really do long distance because I want to see you every day. Like I want to actually be with you.
Yep, that is it. So trust, I think that is a big factor. And a lot of these guys just do not have that type of trust. None.
And I said that. And that's why it's like, this whole notion that you could go overseas and find a wife and all that. Bro, you're going to spend at least the first couple of years doing long distance. And if you got insecurity issues, what makes you think you're going to be able to sustain a relationship overseas, knowing that your mind is fucked up and you're gonna start thinking about like the most crazy shit? So it's not for everybody. It's not.
And if your mind is fucked up, you really need therapy because there's something going on within you. You need to fix first before getting involved with another woman.
Oh, but the problem is they'll never look at themselves. They'll be willing to throw the blame.
And that's the problem. Yeah, but I'm saying they have to acknowledge that, and it's never going to get fixed. They'll compartmentalize it for a little while, but it's always going to come back out. If you have where you're overthinking things and you're putting her in positions where she's either out on a date or she's sleeping with a man in your mind just because she's not picking up the phone, you got some deep-seated shit you need to deal with, bro. Because that's not always the case. I don't know if you got time to play that video I sent you, but it's a good setup to go into an overall group conversation. It's about
I'm gonna play this other one because we played the pro. So I want to play the con and let's see how we feel about that. And before we go there, do we think it's the men that don't trust or is it the women? Because we're looking at it from, maybe these women are angry. Do you think that has something to do with the men going over there because you're going to the land of milk and honey? I don't know how they get stuck on stupid, but a lot of them get stuck on stupid.
I mean, shit, you could go overseas and fall in love with a pro. That speaks volume of your character. So it's like, it's funny, we're quick to throw judgment about 3 or 4 here in the United States, but let's be honest here. The majority of guys that are going overseas, what type of women that they're dealing with?
But let's just say they fall in love with a 304, or massage therapist or something like that.
Well, I mean,
is it still a woman you can trust?
You could trust her. I mean, the thing is, you understand that you met her in that lifestyle. And again, she could be a professional stripper or whatever, bar girl, whatever. It doesn't mean she's sleeping around. I mean, that's her profession, but it doesn't mean she's sleeping around. But the thing is, you're gonna play that shit in your head that you think that she is sleeping around because she looks a certain way. She draws a lot of attention. I know guys who can't even handle a very attractive woman next to them because he's gonna assume that every man that looks at his woman, why are you looking at my woman for? Oh, this and that, whatever. They get insecure, and these are the worst ones.
So we're talking about overseas. What about even local? I mean, I know some guys who can't handle the out of state or maybe even out of city. That's too far. I mean, I know a friend of mine when I was riding motorcycles. Because one city, like if you're in Texas, this wasn't Texas, but the best way I can describe it is Texas. You have Dallas and you have Fort Worth. So Fort Worth may be 45 minutes away. When his girl didn't answer the phone, man, he was straight on his bike. Like he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it. So do you think it's actually a little bit easier if the girl you date is just so far away that you just got to accept what it is, or if she's just close enough that you could get out there? Because I know,
is it a control thing? Is it about control? Because I know guys, his girlfriend can live right down the block, but he needs to know every point and second where she's at, what she's wearing, where she's going. You know, why, she doesn't answer his phone when he calls and she's in a meeting at 9:30 a.m. I mean, that's a control thing. So at the end of the day, man, like I said, it's not built for every person along this relationship, but better yet, a relationship. Most guys can't even handle a simple relationship.
Yeah, that is true.
So you just got to be honest with yourself, man. This is something you really want to live and really do. I know that right now the whole Passport Bros is pushing this whole narrative. You could go overseas and find love and all this shit, but can you really afford to live this lifestyle? Because traveling overseas costs money and it costs time. Do you have enough time? Do you have enough PTO? Or can you work remotely to see and spend quality time with that person? If you aren't able to do that, don't waste your time exploring that shit.
So how much time is enough time to vet that person and be with them then? I mean, you was with your girl for 8 years and y'all probably seen each other, let's say once a month.
Yeah.
How much time do you think is enough time?
Depends on the person, man. Because the thing is, I could go see you and yet we don't talk because you don't speak my language. I don't speak your language. So we're using Google Translate to talk to each other. So how can we actually build any type of relationship if we're using Google Translate to talk? So again, it really takes how much time and effort are you willing to put in while you're there with that person. If you're just there to smash, it's just a smash buddy. That's it. That's what it is. Someone that you smashed for the past 2 or 3, 4, 5 years. But if you're out there building relationship, spending time, cultivating, all those things, like really getting to know somebody, then yeah, it could take a year. It could take more than that.
And I know some dudes, I know we talked about the 304s. I told you this group of guys that I know that go to Brazil, he with a 304. And he actually said he liked her better because I guess if you meet the 304, you already knew there's nothing in her past that can shock you because that's what she was. And he's like, well, that's just who she is. And
I'm gonna say
she's not that anymore.
I'm gonna say this, man. I met some of I used to do the strip clubs, man. I met some of the most loyalist women who had these type of professions that had my back to the T. Versus I can meet an AKA who ain't about shit.
Nope,
that's true.
And it just is what it is, man. So that's why sometimes you can't really rely on someone's profession to define that person's character. Because trust me, I met a lot of snakes in the boardroom, man. I met a lot of snakes in corporate America, but I met a lot of great people outside in the streets, man. So it really depends, man. Don't let that work environment dictate the type of person she is, because again, yeah, she may be a stripper, but dude, she's probably the person that is going to be, beside you through the good, bad, and ugly. Versus that person who's the AKA graduate from Harvard, you fall in hard times, she's gone. Because you no longer have the title anymore. You don't have the status anymore. So always take that into consideration, man.
Shout out to Big Mike. Big Mike says, I did a long distance relationship with my Chilean wife for a year, then moved here to Chile. She's the best woman I ever had. No one treated me this good. Shout out to you, my brother. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm going to play this other one. We're going to talk about the negative. Then we're going to open up the panel because we want to hear your stories. And remember, this is the Lion's Den. So
I see Maya chiming in.
Brother, I don't think you got on my my page.
Nah, do it, bro. I stay away from that, man. That's not my fight. That's y'all.
Pull the trigger. Let's play the video. Move on.
That's between y'all, man.
Pull the trigger. Move the video.
That's between y'all. I'm just sipping.
Brother, that's between y'all, not me.
Long distance relationships are a waste of time. Let's just put it on the table. I tell people all the time, if you want to get cheated on, you can find somebody locally to do that. You don't have to find somebody 4 to 5 states over to cheat on you on a consistent basis. And the fact is that's what's going to happen when you're in a long-term relationship and you guys are not seeing each other for extended periods. People have needs, intimacy needs that have to be filled. And if you think that that person's going to contain those needs for the 1 to 2, maybe 3 times that they see you a month, you are delusional and you are going to get your heart broken. The only way that a situation like that could work is if one person or the other is planning on moving to the other person's city in a very near future. But if that's not the case, the situation is not going to last. And it's a big waste of time.
That nigga's full of shit, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
No, wait, hold up, man. These type of dudes in these YouTube circuit, they fucking pandering. And it's just like, are you in a relationship? Have you ever been married? Majority of these guys never been in a relationship longer than a year, never been married, don't have kids, so they want to give parental advice. They just doing that shit just to get fucking views, and they will say these things as clickbait. It's like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Like, that's why I can't be on these panels. And the thing is, I want to be on these panels on a live panel. Fuck all this internet shit. I want to say this shit in your face because I can call out bullshit and you ain't gonna do shit to me. I'm just like, yo, dude, have you ever been married? Have you been in a relationship longer than a year? Do you have any kids? No, then shut the fuck up. You can't speak on the next man experience, man. It's just like this whole thing, we dictating how someone should live their life. It's fucking hilarious, man. And people now got these platforms to talk their shit, and they just saying it because they don't believe in it.
Exactly.
Huh?
They talk about married people and never been married.
So like, how the fuck you gonna give parental advice? You don't have no kids.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
That's right. Well, I tell you what, I want to say, do I agree with him or not? I still say I might agree with him a little bit because it can be difficult. You meet that person and it's all, you have that lust situation and it's all roses in the beginning. And then there has to be something out of it. It has to be something that transpires thereafter. And I think that's where people lose because the substance doesn't go after that initial meeting.
His reasoning was sex. That was the primary reason why he said that.
Intimacy needs.
But the thing is, it could be like, you know what? Hey, I got a job opportunity, internship opportunity to go across state to work on, babe. We're going to make it work. Like, we don't talk about those things. He instantly just fell into intimate. It's like, hey, you know what? We'll do whatever we can to satisfy each other until I see you. But we're going to make it work. And that's what makes relationships strong. This dude is just saying, all right, don't even fucking do it. If he's gone and she's gone, let it go. It's wasted time. That could be your damn mate. That could be your one that could be your life partner. Because the fact that you ain't fucking her every single fucking day, let her go.
I agree. But here's the problem. Open another panel. I'm gonna put the link in there. Here's the issue. You've been successful. You've been successful at work. I've been successful at work. But there's a lot of guys that did all they ever say, because we in the same panels, we in the same WhatsApp groups, we in the same Facebook groups, and all they ever say is, don't trust they this, all them chicks.
Look at the people who are saying that, though. Look at the people who are saying that. Look at the optics behind the motherfuckers, man. I'm like, nigga, you got no place, no business to say shit. So look at the optics behind who's saying these dumbass shit. Because again, I don't see no receipts. Like, you're just not in the position to say anything.
So you think that's the case, or or is
again, let's just call out the elephant, fucking Silverback in the room. Most of the dudes in the travel space are fucking bitter dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
most of them are bitter. Most of them are insecure. Most of them can't really do anything in the States. That's why they focus so much about going overseas. Most of them just felt like they gave up on life here and they just eager to live their 2 weeks vacation per year to go overseas. They don't want to address the real issue, which is themselves. So they quick to throw the blame towards the woman. It's the woman. It's the woman. It's the woman. No, nigga, it's you. Because if you having problems with women here, then you got problems with women overseas. It's you. Yeah. So this whole thing about, you can't trust them. Oh, they only good for this. They only good for that. Keep your foot on their neck. All this bullshit. Dude, you got a problem.
But bro, it's not. Hold up now. We just said that's the men saying it. We in the same channels when we hear the women saying that. The women are these 304s. They third world countries. They 304s, whore, whatever they say, uneducated, all of that. So what is their perspective? I mean, are they weak? Are they weak also? Because we calling the men out and you gotta hold them accountable.
My thing is like, why do you care what the next man is doing? Why do you care what the woman is doing? If you're not fucking with that person, why do you care so much what they're doing? Yeah, if you feel like we're not desirable, why do you waste time even commenting about this? So at the end of the day, it really boils down to you living your life without giving a fuck. That's it.
I agree. Okay. We got two in the back. So NYC Passport Bro is here first. I'm gonna bring him up, and then we got you, my friend. How you doing, Passport Blueprint, my friend? Have you been in a long? I got it. So here's the question. Okay. You got to tell us the good, the bad, the ugly. So have you ever been in a long distance relationship? And it doesn't have to be overseas, but if it is, great. I want to know the good part of it. Like, oh man, this was great. Girl was faithful. I came there, she did all this, and I flew over. And then I want to know that girl that, you came over and you're like, man, whose toothbrushes in the bathroom? See this, I see some footprints in the snow.
Yeah, I was getting involved with a young lady in Colombia. It eventually didn't work out. Obviously, distance is an issue. It's usually going to be an issue. That's one of the big things with this whole guys going overseas to go find wives. I usually keep it in a region where I can fly down there in between 10 and maybe 16 hours, as opposed to like going overseas to Thailand and the Philippines and stuff like that. That's a day and change. Mm-hmm. But I know of one guy who lives in the Midwest, and his girlfriend's in Barranquilla, and they're going on 2 years right now.
Wow.
2 years. And it can work. People will make it work. If you're truly in love with that person, they'll make it work. That's just the reality of it. This whole thing about, if she's cheating, she's sleeping with somebody else. Well, guess what? She's going to find herself, without me around. Plain and simple. I'm not going to waste my time. If you can't be loyal when I'm a distance away, what makes you think you're going to be loyal when we're close to me?
So how have you been in a long distance relationship?
Once, and I'm kind of, not really doing it now, but there's somewhat of an interest I have. But
I'm just doing sound effects, brother. I'm having fun tonight.
I know. Yeah, but
So how did it work? I mean, we say it, and what is the mindset of a guy who says, I'd rather be in a long distance relationship with someone in another state, in another country, than deal with the people I have here? Because, they'll say, oh, you can't deal with it. How's that?
I don't know. He may have some type of issues going on. I mean, there's still possibilities of finding love where you're at. But if you want to go overseas and find love, or go to another state and find love, that's totally up to the person. That's up to them. I can't really answer that because I don't know what their mindset is and their situation are,
So have you gone overseas, or have you dated someone, far away and something bad happened, something good happened?
I went on a date when I went to Brazil, and the young lady, she was cool. We're still cool. She's just, busy doing her thing, and I'm busy doing my thing. I don't call her up every day. I don't really remember the last time I called her up. I think it was like last week we spoke, and that was before then. It was like maybe a month that I haven't spoken to her on the phone. I just, been busy with work. Just like Kanal said earlier, I'm busy doing things. She's busy doing things. And, when we get a chance, we'll communicate. I mean, we're not in a relationship. It's just, she's just a friend and that's it.
All right. Strictly Travel says long-term relationships are a waste of time. Or I think not long-term, long distance. Long distance relationships are a waste of time.
I don't think so. Like I said, if you can make it, if y'all two can make it work, make it work. We have technology to keep everybody together, with Zoom and FaceTime and Skype. Those things can still keep going. But like I said, you got to make it work. You have to make it work, and you got to have that partner that's willing to make it work and be loyal and faithful about it. Once they don't want to be loyal and faithful about it, then you know what? Next. It's like a friend of mine said, when someone breaks my heart, I don't cry about it. I just say the word next, because there's always going to be someone else next coming on.
So you think, so to answer the question, you say long distance relationships can work.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to pull up NY King. I'm going to throw you in the back, but you're welcome to come back up. All right.
All right.
If
I'll
you
stay
get
in the back.
anything on the screen that might change your mind, we want to hear from you. NYC King, how you doing, my friend? I know you've been in a long distance relationship and a close relationship. Do you think can you make it work?
You're muted. I'm gonna unmute.
I think he's in a whole different time zone. You all right, my brother? You there?
You're muted. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
I guess he wants us to see the house and some things
King.
going on. Okay, there I am. Hey, look me on the screen.
You gotta unmute yourself, King.
Yeah, you gotta unmute. We can't hear anything you
We
saying.
can't hear nothing you're saying right now. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
All right, I'm gonna throw him in the back, and we'll get him back.
Hold on. Let's see if he can push a button. Oh, he disconnected.
He's not connected. So NYC, when you get a chance, unmute yourself because we couldn't hear you. We like your background. We look good on your screen TV, but we couldn't hear anything you said. I think you had a picture of your girl there too. Before we get started with you, Jay, I want to go with Jay Clyde. I've been with my girl in Colombia for almost 4 years.
Wow.
You can work with the right person and both parties make it last. I do agree. But I do, Jay Clyde, I want to hear them horror stories because y'all making this sound like peaches and cream. Like everything was good.
Yeah, we don't want to put out false narratives. They accuse brothers that travel to put out the good stuff. We need to hear some of those life horrors.
Correct. Jay, welcome to the channel, my friend. So the long distance relationships work.
Yeah, I definitely think long distance relationships can work. I will say there is a time limit though, depending on the party that you're involved with. I mean, obviously you're going to have to stay consistent to some degree and have to see each other from time to time. It can't just be 2 years going on and you guys haven't really seen each other in person. But yeah, I think long distance relationships could work. To add to that, if a person is loyal, they're loyal. If they're not, they're not. I think a lot of people get confused when they're like, oh, she's going to cheat because it's long distance. No, she's going to cheat because she's a cheater. That's why she's going to cheat. So I think that's where a lot of brothers kind of get it confused, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Clyde. Salute to Jay Clyde. Salute to
no Yeah, I think you're right. But here's the thing, Jay. Like I said, you saying it can be done. Kanal saying it can be done. Ronan saying it can be done. But everything I hear on these guys saying it can't be done. I don't hear these, when I'm on these things, I don't hear these stories. I don't hear them. I hear, what did the one guy say? I was with the girl, I come over there and I brought her here, she did me wrong. Or, I thought she was mine, I was taking care of her. And I thought we were faithful.
Western Union Poppy.
Yep. Or you a guy, you say, you tell the girl, hey, we together, and I've heard this happen. We together, we good. And this is when Dominican Cupid was out. Dude get caught because he's still on Dominican Cupid and he don't know that they friends and he communicating with her. So how does this long distance thing work?
Well, first off, let me say most relationships don't work. So a lot of times when something doesn't work out, they need something to blame. So they'll blame the distance or something like that. But typically, I mean, like 9 out of 10 times, your relationship's not going to work. You got to go through several relationships before you find the one. But I mean, in the guy's case where he's on Colombian Cupid, he's not holding up his end of the bargain. So that's his problem, So you can't really blame the girl for that. And then if she finds out, she might not break up with him. She might just start doing her own thing. So
that is true. Strictly Travel, you are welcome to come to the panel. Please give your opinion. Everybody's saying it can work. It's good. Everybody doesn't agree with you. So far,
again, guys, let's go back to the optics. Listen to the people who's actually saying that it won't work. Look at their body of work, their receipts. Just again, I pay attention to the optics, man. And it's just like, you know what? If you not traveling beyond the typical tourist traps and you're not really out there cultivating and really meeting people, domestic and overseas, dude, yeah, you're gonna be bitter. You're gonna say all these negative things. But I like I said, listen to the options. Listen to the people who's saying it. Right. Look at their profiles. I mean, I'm sorry. It just a lot of stuff speaks volume, and I pay attention to all those things. And it's just like, you know what? If this guy's constantly talking about the same shit for the past 5 years, don't trust no women, all this and that, whatever. Dude, bro, it's you. It's you. The people you choosing, the people you decide to be around with, it's you.
Strictly Travel. That might be a shot in the dark. We shall see. You might come to defend yourself.
Hey, hold up real quick, Jay. Since you're up here, go ahead and let us know. Have you dated long distance in the United States or overseas at all?
I mean, it was long distance, but it was very it was short because it was like, okay, I went back to the States for what was it, like 2 months, and then I actually moved to Mexico. So she came to Mexico from Colombia, and we stayed in Mexico together for about 6 months.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, so we did break up, but it wasn't nothing crazy. It was just we just didn't work out. But yeah, I went ahead and tried it. It wasn't it was a nice experience.
Okay. I mean, you took it from long distance to up close and personal for a 6-month time period. So you got both ends of it, the long distance and actually the live-in type of situation where you could figure out and vet it out that it wasn't going to work longer than that. So
right,
you
right. Yeah. I mean, everybody benefited from it. So it was, it was a good experience. I didn't have an issue with it. But,
So here's how I'm going to say it kind of helped me out. And so before I do that, NYC, you're going to be up next. Jay, I'm going to put you in the back after you answer this question. Do long distance relationships work? Yes or no?
No, most relationships don't work. That's my answer. Most relationships don't.
I mean, if you get 10 years in, you're doing good. It's a very high percentage, a low percentage of people making it over 10 to 15, 20 years in a relationship. Those are high or very low numbers as far as percentages. So you're right. A lot of relationships don't work long term.
So yeah, that's just like saying, what do relationships work in general? No. I mean, if you're asking over 50%, no, they're not going to work. But they can work.
It's not the distance, it's the relationship in general.
And I've been in an 11-year relationship before also. So
congratulations, my friend.
That's awesome.
It's not like I'm talking from inexperience or I haven't been able to commit to someone or something like that. So I have an abundance of experience. So,
in the words of Beyonce, if you like it, you should have put a ring on it, brother. Put a ring on it.
Man, yeah. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad.
Hindsight being 2020,
Yeah, it worked out for the best, definitely.
I know that's right. So. Well, Jay, I'm gonna put you in the back. I'm gonna bring NYC up, and then Strictly Travel. You are coming up to defend what you got next. Hold on a second. So before I bring you up, NYC, I am going to say this in good thing for a distant relationship. I was what you would call a whore maker. Not the whore monger, I was the whore maker because I made a lot of hoes. And what I found is when I met a chick or wanted to be with chicks, I was
Oh
strictly
man.
physical. It was like, I got to hit it. I got to get with them. It was all physical. And I never had the opportunity. By the time I got to know them, I ain't like them. I like, oh man, I've been hitting it, but I really don't like you. What I found with the long distance relationship is I actually had to communicate. I actually had to talk to them and get to know them. And so if I still wanted to meet them after that, or I wanted to travel, it was beyond the sex part. It was on a different level of communication because, it was like, all right, I'm not traveling just for sex because we have to communicate on a daily basis. So I found that the intimacy was better. So it wasn't sex. It was about more like intimacy because now we were beyond that. Now we could talk about things that, usually you wouldn't talk about in your relationship or you would skip past. You could get in depth to know something about someone. All right, NYC, I hope you're ready, my brother. What say you? Are you there, my friend?
King, you won't.
I think I'm here.
All right. We were getting worried there for a minute. We thought maybe you was having a long distance relationship with us.
No,
And
I don't normally cam up for the three wise men, but it's some spectacular things happening. And you say, can overseas
do you
relationship
think
work?
they work? Not can they, because things work. So have
Right.
you, I guess you
All right,
obviously have
this
been
is
in a
what
long
it
distance
looks like.
relationship. That's your girl. She's from Europe. So is that working out for you?
Like, that's what it looks like. That's what a 12-year relationship looks like. Okay, so if the cord is strong and the bond is strong, then it can work.
So I know you got some horror stories. Before you tell me the good, I got to hear the bad, because that seemed like a strong, good relationship. But I know everybody that you talk to ain't.
If the bond is strong, it will work. That means you got to do a lot of traveling. She's got to travel to you. That's actually my house, upstate New York. 5-bedroom house. Long ass driveway. I mean, to get the plows out, to plow the snow. I gotta have landscapers cut the grass. And the bond is strong. It lasts. Like I said, my options that I get to go to all these great places when I'm over in Europe with her, to places that I've always wanted to go as a child. I never can envision me being in Italy or Rome or Switzerland or Turkey or all the great places that I've been to. Passport girls think one-dimensional. They think DR and Colombia and Brazil. This is Europe. This, as you can see, my wife beautiful. It's Europe. Okay, you can't think one-dimensional as a traveler.
How you get over that fear that you're not there now, and because you're not there now, she's doing her thing.
You talk every day with your wife. Your woman. You build a bond.
Well, before she was your wife, she wasn't your wife. So before you talk every day,
so I can hear you guys better.
No, before she was your wife, she wasn't your wife. So how did you make it work to get to the point that she was your wife?
It took time. It took time to travel. Had to meet the parents. Well, she lived with me in the States like 7 years, and she actually forced me into a marriage. She's like, "Yo, what are you gonna do?" Basically, and she gave me an ultimatum, and I said, it's like we married anyway, so we'll fly back to Europe and we'll do it with your family, and that's what we did.
So what's your horror stories?
My war stories?
Yeah, I mean, every girl you met hasn't been like, oh man, that's the one. That's it. You know, what's the horror story? So I'm sure you met some girls and you were like,
I got no war stories. I mean, they all been respectful.
So every girl you met has been the one, the good, the.
Everything starts out good, you know. Some relationships take its toll, and they go from there. You know, everything starts out good. I don't have any hatred towards any of the women that I've been with, respectfully. Um, Sometimes things happen where people grow out of each other, and sometimes they break up, they come back, and sometimes we don't come back. Sometimes we don't own these women. You know, we just borrowing for a time in our period in our life.
Oh shit!
And we have to appreciate that. You know, the time that we have with them.
Man,
we don't own them, so they're free to go anytime they want to go, and we're free to maneuver the way we feel we have to. So
I understand.
That's how I feel about it. You know, nobody.
So you ever had so every girl you never been cheated on, played on, done any of that. And all we doing, we just showing our girls right now. I'm showing my pet.
Okay. Well, I'm not showing no 304s. I'm showing the actual wife.
Right.
No. I'm showing my pet.
Oh Lord Jesus, help him.
So on that note, Ronnie's been through 2 marriages. I don't know how many you've been through, Phyllis. I don't know how many Brockman travels
on my
through.
first and hopefully last. I hope this is my last.
We grow out of each other, and then when we get older, we want a shot at a tenderoni. We don't want really an old chick laying up with us, right, Ronnie?
You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, hell
no.
no.
Old beat down chick that got bodies on her. We want a young tenderoni. We could watch her do the dishes and put some soap on our back. Life goes on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
life goes on, man. So back to the story about I had with you the 3 wise men. Ronnie, Fearless, and Black Man Travels. So I spoke to my shorty in California.
All right.
And I'm basically home alone right now. She's basically ready to take a leap of faith. She come out, she likes it. It works, it works. You know what I'm saying? She's a young tenderoni.
Okay.
30 years old. Pretty as F. Willing to work. Willing to cooperate. Willing to be a partner. Has tendency to cry a little bit. She's got some emotional situations, which I find that attractive. Because I don't like drama for this. I don't like arguing with a woman. I don't like a woman bringing up the past. Sometimes we need a fresh perspective on things. And sometimes we need a younger perspective on things to make us guys feel younger. Does that make sense? Because the old woman...
She says she need a young tenderoni.
So you see, here we go. Here we go. So when somebody takes a leap of faith, they're not looking for lunch. They're looking for what they come in to leap that faith to. Okay? And I live in the hillbilly mountains. There ain't no young tenderonis running around here besides me. And she's a red bone. She's African American, and she's pretty, man. I mean, that's all I like to say. Time don't wait for nobody.
Yeah, that's right.
Time don't. So you worried about if you worried about your woman cheating, sleeping with somebody, maybe it's time for you to start doing something about it.
Facts.
Maybe it's time for you to start to dust your shirt off and say, "Well, hey, I think she's doing it, so maybe I need to be free too. She doesn't want to communicate with me like we used to. Well, maybe she's exploring. But once she passes that plateau of being tampered with, there's no coming back to me, Ronnie or Felix or Brother and Charles. I don't touch tampered goods. Okay, especially when they hold a ring on. Does that make sense?
Yes,
It
sir.
absolutely does.
So I told her before you decide to cross that plateau, make sure I get divorce papers or you get served and we both can do that. But if you married and you think you want to come back and you cross that plateau, I'm not available anymore. Because a high value man is not going to stay available like that. If you cross a certain plateau, you have to live with that plateau you cross. And there's no coming back. An ex means one thing. That's your ex. And who wants to go back to your ex? Who wants to go back to the same stuff you left to? Yes, long distance relationships can work if you have the money, the time, and you have a free space in your mind to believe you can do so. All right, I'm trying to answer you guys' questions. It took me about an hour to get on the panel just to say this.
No problem, bro. We're gonna keep you on a little bit longer, but I want to get to Strictly Travels real quick. So I'm gonna put you in the back, and I'm gonna bring him up because he has something a little different to say. So we'll come back to Strictly Travels. How you doing today? Welcome to the show, sir.
I'm doing great. What about you guys?
Fantastic.
You're doing well.
Fantastic. Why is
That's
everybody
good,
showing
that's
their avatar? Do I need to show my other avatar?
By the way, that's all real here.
Okay. No, you fine. Let me see where my avatar is. I'll wait. So, sir, I think we had some.
Well,
I want, in my opinion, you may be the most honest person on here because you're saying it ain't going to work. But in the words of my co-host, Kanal, he says that's a bunch of bullshit that you just can't do, that you don't understand. Now, you have entered the lion's den. I hope you can defend what you're about to say.
Here's the thing. I mean, I don't believe in long distance relationship, first of all, because I mean, you lose that physical connection. To me, it's very important. I mean, so to me, just like long distance relationship is just nothing but, I mean, it's for dreamers. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, to me, I'm like, what can I get a woman the place where I'm at? I have to go like miles away. You don't have that physical connection. You have that sexual inconsistency. You have that emotional disconnect. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. I like to be able, when I get up in the morning, my woman is there. Hey, how are you? I mean, making breakfast. So, instead of having go ahead.
But I understand. Hold up. Say that time will come. But before then, and I understand, sex is important to men. But don't you think that if you meet someone and it's long distance and it has to be more than sex, that now your relationship has become more intimate? It's become a much more different revolving relationship. Because I'm sure as an older man, you've been with some girls, you're like, yeah, the sex. We'll stay longer with some chick because the sex is like on fire. That hood ghetto chick, we should have got rid of that Popeye eating chick a long time ago. But we'll stay good.
Why she gotta eat Popeyes, right?
Because I think that's the ones that got the fire. They got that fire on. And you stay with it a little bit longer. So, do you think that initially that may be important because you move beyond all the physical? You're like, all right, I got to know this girl, and then later on you get to wake up with her, and then you get to go with it because dating back in the day, not in this generation, maybe not in the last generation, but way back, you courted them, and it wasn't about you get to stay over and fix me breakfast. There wasn't none of that till you tied the knot. You had to actually find out if that woman was for you.
Well, but my main question is, why should I bother even going to a long distance relationship? I mean, is it a lack of availability of women in my sector or in my area? That's the part I'm trying to understand, because I mean, why should I look for a virtual? Because I mean, as far as I'm concerned, unless you've seen her, I mean, you have to look at the difference. I mean, unless you've met her, and then she has to travel for XYZ reasons, or you during your traveling, you met a girl, it's, I don't know, in China or in Russia or in DR, then yes, then I can understand that. But the end goal, I mean, the gap has to be closed in an area where eventually we're gonna be in the same spot. Either
Correct.
she comes
Yeah.
to me or I come to her. Otherwise it's a waste of time. It's virtual. It's that virtual thing. I don't believe in that. To me, I believe in that physical. Okay, well, let me call you, or let me. Okay, what time you gonna be free? I'm going to get you. Hey, Sin, what's good? Yeah, I'm going to pick you up at this time.
In Sin City, let me shout out to Sin City. He does say first, strict. What's going on, my Congolese brother? Hey, Sin City, just to let you know, I'm trying to get up to the nasty natty prior to the Labor Day fireworks weekend. So I'm trying to get up there. If I can make it up there, we're going to do some content together. I'm just trying to put some things together beforehand. And, I got some people I got to visit on my way up there. Actually, I'm trying to get up there with the salsa on the square end, because that's one of the reasons I want to get up there. But if I can get up there prior to that, I will. If not, it will be before Labor Day, and we're going to do some content together, my friend. I told you need to do some local content, show that Cheese Coney and Kings Island and all that stuff. And that goes back to you, my friend. I hear your accent. Yeah. So where are you from?
Congo.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's say this. You moved to the States. You went back home. You went back home. I got to see my family. My cousins is there. My aunt, whoever is back home. And then you meet her. She come out, that fine Congolese woman. She can't, the women in the States cook, but they can't cook like her. They don't have that body like her, that flavor like her, that accent like her. So you just going to pass that up? Because you can't get her back here right away. What you going to do? You going to pass that up?
Here's the thing. You made a very good point. First of all, I mean, you mentioned something about Congolese women. There's a cultural standpoint that we need to pay attention to. When you deal with the Congolese women and you're in a serious relationship, then you meet the femme, and the femme will make sure that the girl is well taken care of. So the reality is totally different if I meet a girl from Russia, in which I'm totally unaware of the culture aspect of it. So it's a whole different thing. When in the Congo, yes, I can do that because I know that she's going to be taken care of by her family. She's going to be home. She won't be going out because they know that she's waiting for me. So it's a whole different, it's a whole.
No, we're going to hold you to it. You said it. Let me go back to what you said. I know you said in here, it don't work. Long distance relationships.
It's for dreamers. I said, yeah. Because I mean,
so what, you dreaming of your Congolese woman now? What's going on?
No, if it's the Congo, yeah, I can stick with it because I know I have. I mean, maybe you're gonna call me a control freak. I know I have some type of control over the relationship. Why, if you go from Russia, I don't know what she does in the spare time. I don't know.
Well, hold up. Now you saying what you're trying to say is, all right, I don't know. Are the Congolese women better than the Russian women?
Well, I'm not saying they're better, but culturally, there is more respect in a way where if you meet the parents and they know that she's engaged or to be married or there's a serious relationship coming into the equation, she'll be there because she doesn't want to lose that opportunity. She won't even try to do that because it's a cultural standpoint. It varies.
So where are you located now? In the States?
No. Right now I'm in the DR.
Oh, okay. What city you in, my friend?
Yep, I'm in Santo Domingo, actually. My wife's Dominican. I've been there for 20 years.
All right, Santo Domingo. I got a place out there in Abraham Lincoln in February 27th.
And you said your wife is Dominican as well?
Yep. I live in Piantini, actually. I'm in Piantini right behind Blue Mall.
That's three of y'all, all Dominican wives.
There. nobody likes this place, man. I've been going to this place, and my wife knows because they shut it down in Santiago. But I love Provocon, man. I just, Provocon?
Yeah, Provocon. Yeah, the food place. Yeah.
I love that place. Everybody's like, you want to go to Provocon? I'm like, man, I love the chicken. I give me some chicken rice and some yuca. So I know exactly where you at over there.
Exactly. So Abraham Lincoln. I'm actually Churchill, and exactly right behind, literally, like a few blocks from Blue Mall. Yeah.
Okay. Because usually I used to stay near Maximo Gomez because that was right across from where the college at, and I could go down to so that was my spot. Then I dated a girl in Arroyondo. Yeah. So I had a little bit further. That's why I know Provocon, because the street to get to her was on Provocon.
Yeah,
so I know exactly where you at, my friend. You're doing good down there.
Yeah, been there for 20 years. Got 3 wonderful kids. So
Congratulations.
19, 17, and 15. So not actually on vacation. They're actually on vacation in Dubai. So I'm here just by myself, so not easy. But yeah, it is what it is. You're muted.
No,
yeah,
because Benafruta. Oh man, I'm just thinking. I'm having flashbacks, bro. I always go to Benafruta. They make the Zapote shake. Oh,
yeah, Zapote shake. Yeah. You like Zapote, yeah?
Yeah, people here don't understand it. So I'm sorry. You bring it back.
Yeah.
I got to get there soon. But now our friendship is over. I got to drill.
Yeah.
So how did you meet your wife? Were you in DR when you met your wife, or?
Well, here's the thing. Long story. The way it got started, the way I get.
Before we do that, I'm sorry, guys. We need to spice this up, man. You made a statement, strictly travel.
Yeah.
About long distance relationships are for dreamers. Speak your piece, man, because I'm gonna push back on this. Go for it, man. I'm gonna give you a second.
Turn my camera off for a second.
You gotta say,
go
I'm gonna go in.
I'm gonna go get a refill.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in 2000, when I lost my job with Nortel, I used to be in the IT field. I decided to take a break. Then I went to Switzerland. I went to Zurich, and then one day, my friend came back to me and said, "Well, I met these guys from the DR, and then he's going to invite us to a club called Acito in Zurich." Okay, well, then I went there. Bro, I arrived there. I said, "Where all those beautiful women are coming from?" Even the one-eyed guy, even the one-leg guy, one-eyed guy had a beautiful woman. I'm like, sure, I need to go to that place, And that's pretty much. Then year went back to the state. Then 2003, I decided, let me go to the DR. Because I had a cousin who was going to school in the DR. So then my wife was actually his neighbor. So she was on the way to church. And he introduced me to her, and then we started to talk, and she invited me to church, and that's how we kick it. And that was 20 years ago.
Now, hold up. Now, let me push back on you. Now, you just said you met a chick, your wife, that was in DR, but where were you living at the time? Because you just had visited. I
was visiting, but guess what? I stayed in DR. I was visiting. Listen, I was visiting. Then I met her. It was in August 2004. It was 2004. We got married in October 2004.
A month later?
A month and a half later.
You ain't have. You put that DR motion on you, brother. That Latin love, man. You can't have a long distance relationship. You just move right in.
I moved right in, and then at the time, I was in the IT field. Then I landed a job with Orange as IT director. Then stay in the DR. So I was the DR from 2004 up to 2008. Then I went into entrepreneurship. I started a company. I had an energy drink at the time, and I want to actually expand it to Latin America. To move to Chile, moved to Argentina first, then moved to Chile, then moved to Brazil. Then I stayed from 2008 up to 2012 in Chile. then moved to Dubai.
Was your wife traveling with you
the whole time?
Okay, all right.
The whole time. Then I moved to then decided I moved to Dubai. Then now I'm into the crown roll. Now I'm into finance now. So I'm in there for vacation, and then but I'm actually based in Dubai for the past since 2012, for the past 12 years. So we've been together ever since, so well, I had my stint, I have my issues with other women during those years, but
it's DR, man. We understand. I was there when, man. Let's see. I got to date myself. So San Isidro.
San Isidro, yeah.
They used to have a bar called Eagle.
Eagle, yep.
You know Eagle, don't you?
You get in trouble if you go to Eagle, bro.
I just letting you know.
Barcelo, you got Barcelo Imperial. Yeah, classic.
Imperial.
Nice.
People who drink the cheap stuff. I'm just letting you know. We do.
Yeah, Barcelo Imperial. That's what I'm talking
about. Guys, let's bring it back to the original statement that he made. You guys going off topic.
Trying not to hurt him too much.
No, I'm falling asleep.
Smoke.
No, I'm falling asleep. So I'm like, all right, I'm falling asleep here, man. He made
that's that itis from that good food your wife just cooked you. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, I'm good, man. He made a statement that long distance relationship for dreamers. I want him to explain that, and he hasn't explained that for the past 20 minutes.
Well, here's the thing, because to me it's like dreaming. You're on the phone all the time. Like right now, we're having a virtual virtual conversation, and that's pretty much it. But if I met Fearless in person, I know exactly what it's like. I can get the feel of things. So to me, talk to someone virtually on the phone all the time, you're making that physical connect. So it's just like dreaming. It's like going to sleep and fantasizing on things. That's how I look at it. Me personally, I like that. I like that physical contact. I like to be able to smell her, to feel her, to be able to entertain with her, like to touch her hair, to be able, I'm very physical. So I like that emotional contact, that physical contact, rather than just like that fantasizing into, like, to me it's like playing a PS4, PS5, they're like you're really thinking in a football game, but you're not really, it's virtual. That's how I look at it. So to me, that's what I say for dreamers. I believe in that. I'm old school when it comes to that. I know where my wife is. I know exactly, I don't see what's the purpose of entertaining a long-term relationship unless there are established deadlines in which, okay, perfect, in the month you're gonna move in with me, or in the next, you have to have an established deadline schedule where eventually both people are gonna be in the same place. They're gonna be able to connect, because I don't see why. To me it's just a waste of time, because to me that emotional and physical connection is very, very crucial in order for a relationship to work. that's what I think. Because
so now before Kanal comes in and tears you a new one, I want to hear the reverse. You are in DR, so do you see the guys coming? So do you see the women over there when they say, "Oh, that's my girl," So the gringo is claiming that Maria or whomever, Mary Bell, is his girl. How do you see, what is Maria saying? Is it Maria's heartbreaking? Is she just using? They say.
Well, here's the thing. I will not say that it happens with every woman. But what I've seen so far is that Maria, when John is abroad, Pedro is here. And that's what I've seen. And it's constant. It's something constant. Let's say out of 10, I will say about 8 of them that I've known, that's what I can actually collaborate. I think that's exactly what she's doing. And that it's just part of, so. And I know people personally, I know they have boyfriends, and when they're abroad, then I also know there is a woman that I know, her husband lives in the States, and when she comes to DR, she has a local guy here, and that's actually my wife's cousin. And the other girl was married abroad, and the other time she said, well, you know what, I won't be able to see for next 2-3 weeks because my husband is coming to town, So, so when I see those things, I'm like, I say, who am I to think that I will be exempt from that? Why? I'm so special. I have maybe a thing that vibrate that nothing, I don't know. I want to know, that's what I want to know, because what's going to make me different than the next guy, or what is going to make my woman different because Dominican women, when they cheat on you, they get scientific on you, bro.
He said scientific.
Oh yeah, bro. They will. You'll be surprised. Hey, what you doing? Oh, I'm in the bed. I'm sleeping. But Pedro is in the bathroom. He like, waiting for you to come out. I mean, I've seen things, that you were like, whoa. So when I sit up, like I said, well, what can this happen to me? I'm like, what would I think that I will be exempt from that situation? So that's why I'm like, you know what? I don't believe in that. Unless you have like children, you have like a long-term relationship established, then it's a whole different story. But in the beginning, they'll play with you big time.
So what about Pedro? Is he upset? Is he just happy to be there?
Pedro doesn't care. Pedro's happy because Pedro has less money than the guy than the husband. So Pedro is just the one, he's living off John's money. That's exactly what it is, Take care of John, get him stuff, Pedro is just the sex body. And that, and you see that all the time, So when I see them, like I say, why would I think my situation gonna be any different than John? It doesn't make any sense, And I've seen multiple occasions. I mean, I have so many examples of that, So that's why I'm like, you know what? Unless she's not there physically with you, you don't have a woman.
Ooh. But I'm stepping back. I'm gonna let Kanal handle this, my friend. We'll come back and be friends thereafter. But I throw you to the Lions Den. Kanal, he's all yours. Or maybe not. But did Kanal back down?
He wants to live through the AC.
Did he give up? Kanal, you there?
Kanal, you're muted.
I don't know. I think Kanal back down.
Maybe you subdued him, Strick. Strictly, you might have got him.
Your point.
Maybe you got him. I don't know. He muted up and disappeared on us.
No, because especially older men. We've been dreaming. We've been thinking that we still got it, like when we were young. That's not true. Let's face it.
We got this guy right here. I don't need Arabic name. Come on now. He said it's bullshit. Let's stop the madness.
Well,
man. That's what Strictly is saying. He said you can't leave them the Latin lovers alone. They'll be somewhere.
So wait a minute. I'm going to push back just a little bit with Strictly. So Strictly, the woman you've been with, and you're saying now damn near 20 years, you don't know her well enough to know that even if you had to go travel for business for a little while, you couldn't trust her?
I've said something different. We have 3 kids together. We
You
have.
don't think the kids going to tell?
No. First of all, the kids will tell. And then my kids are like, well, first of all, I trust her. She's like she's
So there are exceptions to the statement that you made.
Like I'm saying, they're already established. Maybe
because we're established. If we were not established, I don't know. You know what I mean? But it has been 20 years. We have 3 wonderful kids, and then she's spending on vacation right now. I'm not there. I'm not there. They're with the kids, and they calling me all day. We're doing this, we're doing that. That the need to find because we need to understand. We like sex. Women love sex too. So we need to understand they have those needs sometimes. So after a year of or 6-7 months, believe me, hormones start. So and then she sat at home. Then Pedro comes, say, "Yeah, what you doing?" And it's like a couple of drinks. And guess what? Now she look at Pedro, but she's picturing John.
You got me upset. I gotta ask my wife. You know somebody named Pedro?
So she living vicariously through Pedro, imagining Pedro is you.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
I told you I got my wife's cousin. And his girlfriend is actually, she has a husband, and
So I have a question for you, man. We're gonna spice this shit up, man.
Sure, buddy.
I'm literally falling asleep here. So do you feel that you need to be near the person you're with at all times?
No, I didn't say that. But
No. I didn't say that. You said that. I'm asking you a question.
No, you don't need to. But you have to be in the same geographic location.
So the same country, the same city, like.
Yeah, the same city. I mean, if you're in a relationship, you have to be in the same. I mean, she has to be within a reachable range. You know, it doesn't make sense if I'm in the U.S. My girl is in Colombia.
So, so let me ask you a case. You met your girl, but you got relocated to another facility, across the country or across to another country.
Mm-hmm.
Would you end that relationship because you're no longer with that person close by?
Oh, she's coming with me.
No, what about she has her own profession and she's like, you know what, hey, we're not married. We're just dating in a relationship. Would you let it quit?
Yeah, I just let it go.
Okay.
I just let it go because to me doesn't because me I'm like people. I mean, call me a control freak, whatever it is, but to me I have to make sure that my woman's within reach. You know, if I say I'm coming over, I'm there like within 30. You know, I don't leave range for nonsense. I'm sorry, it doesn't make any sense. Where I'm like, what? Because think about it. I mean, what is she doing? I mean, I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, you will call her, she's not picking. I mean, she's not picking up the phone because maybe she's taking a shower. You get that constant. I don't have time to.
See, I think what separates me from you is that I don't think that way.
I understand that.
I don't feel the need that I need to be close to her. Like the type of person I am is like, hey, I'm good in my own space. So when I do want to see her, I'm gonna take advantage of the opportunity of spending time with her. I don't want to be someone that says, hey, you got to be right next to me for us to be together. It's like, honestly, if the relationship there, the communication is there, and it's like, hey, listen, we both know, like, hey, we want each other, we're going to make it happen. It could work. And it worked for many years for a lot of people.
Yeah, I feel
now,
you.
Granted, I'm not saying now for the ones who are delusional, oh, they're going to fly to another country and think that they're going to find someone the first time and Sosua or Cartagena or Medellin on the first trip and then they're gonna build a relationship. It's not gonna work that way. And I think a lot of the passport bros, they push this false narrative that your first trip, you're gonna find that one person and you're gonna fall in love with them and hence you're gonna build that relationship. It doesn't work that way. You really got to take time and effort and actually get to know somebody. And until you live with them, that's when you truly know who they are.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Yeah, so, so what you mean is pretty much, you talk about maybe the initial stage of the relationship.
Yeah, it won't work. I agree with you. The initial stage, it would not work.
It will just, because that's what I said, but if there's just been established for, for a considerable amount of time or for acceptable amount of time, then yes, initially, because I'm talking from, personal experience, because at one time, like for instance, you said something interesting. I've been here for 20 years, so after 20 years, trust is part of, I know my wife, and she knows me, and then she's a better person than I am, no doubt about that part, because I've done my dirt, and she was there, and then so. But I've seen cases where, after a certain period of time, after like 3-4 months, and I've met married women in different hotels, where imagine I met this girl in Turkey, for instance. Her husband was in Dubai, and she was from Australia. Then she said, well, and she was willing to do whatever, and I was pretty shocked that she said, well, but make sure that don't take any pictures because I want my husband to know. Because he just want to, but the way when you talk to her, she seems such a Miss Goody Two-Shoes that she wouldn't even break a glass. I was like, wow. And so when I see those things, I'm like, I said, hold on, maybe we don't understand women enough to understand exactly what's going on into their mindset, because this girl I met in the hotel in Turkey, she was like, I said, well, let's keep it this way. And then, I met her, really what you have to do. Then she went back to Dubai and back in her husband. Then when I looked at it, I've seen that picture on Facebook. They look so happy. And I'm looking, I'm like, damn, this is worrisome. You know what I mean? Because, if you only
obviously you want her first if she was used to doing that and going back with a smile on her face. So
exactly. So when you see those things, I'm sorry, I said, hold on, don't have time to stress myself because I have so many other things, so many other important things to do. They worry about what my girl is doing, and or unless I'm okay with an open relationship where she's dates who she wants to date, I date when I want to date, when we're together. Well, if we have the agreement, so let's be it. But otherwise, personally, I need to make sure that my woman is reachable at all time, and that makes it. I'm sorry. Otherwise, she ain't mine. We're sharing.
Wow.
That's how I look at it.
You want to hear something crazy?
What?
I mean, I have a crazy story to share.
Go ahead.
All right, this is back when I was in undergrad in Miami. I was in undergraduate school, and I went to South Beach. My friends and I went to South Beach. We went to Fat Tuesdays, and I met this woman.
Mm-hmm.
We dancing, whatever, having a good time. I didn't know that she was married, but her husband is the police of Miami Beach.
Oh, hell no.
She took me to we went to the bathroom stall. My God. She gave me head. She gave me head in the bathroom stall. And guess who came and picked her up?
Her husband.
That's what I'm saying.
And I was like, well, and guess what? He had his police uniform on. He just got off a shift. So it doesn't matter. If someone's gonna cheat on you, they're gonna cheat on you. It doesn't matter how close and far they are. So it's just like, that was a learning experience for me to see that. And it's like, wow, this dude came with his uniform on, picked her up. She had a few drinks and she left. So I got to go. Bye. It's like, okay.
Wow.
Life in Miami.
So strictly travel, do you think because you've seen the Pedros and the girl in Dubai and places like that has jaded your trust?
Well, I wouldn't say jaded my trust, but I just don't leave room for nonsense, and I'm clear about it. I'm like, she knows, like, don't ever, don't let me ever catch you, because it's there's no room for negotiation. It's just a quick. That's it. I don't have time for that. Okay. Well, no explanation. It's over. I just don't have time to. Because to me, trust and being loyal is very important to me. I'm like, if I can't trust you, why should I be with you?
I got a question. Are either one of you guys religious? Are you religious? Is your wife religious?
Yeah, my wife is religious. Yes.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, she's when I met her, she was on her way to church, and our first day was at church, actually. Me, I wasn't into that, but she's still into those. She has those more. She has those belief and values and so forth. So
okay,
I guess he leveraged a little bit, but still, Yeah. So,
do you think that might be a demon of yours, where you have that level of mistrust based on your past history versus hers?
Most likely, because I've done some things. So yeah, most likely, I think so, because I haven't been so, and so I've seen things like, okay, for instance, when I'm gonna tell you, when I was in Switzerland, the girl I met she was married. And she had a husband. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, and that was in 2000, And so to me, I was like, well, she's married. Actually, the guy that invited us to the club, because my friend met him first. Then he took us to the club. Then I met him in the club. Then his wife was interested in me, So when I look at this whole mess, this whole, mix up.
Yeah. You putting your demons on your wife, though.
So I'm like, I know on everybody, on any women, my wife, she hasn't given him any reason for me to doubt about her thing, So I don't have but the things that I've lived and seen in the DR and with some close friend of hers, Another story. One day, we at home, we're having a party. I just came from Dubai, came to my house, and having a party. Then this girl, a friend of her, arrived after a few drinks. I'm in the kitchen, pretty much making myself a drink. And then my wife was in in the family room, and then she comes and gave me a kiss, and this girl is married. And I'm like, I said, hold on, and she has nothing to look for because her husband is got lots of money. It's a way, I'm like, what is she looking for? You know what I mean? When I see those things, really, I can't help but have my mind like, I said, hold on, he has no clue. I'm like, she came and literally gave me a kiss. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, and I was there maybe, that's the first time I met her. I just arrived, she just heard about me. I don't know what what she heard, but she was like, I'm in the kitchen making my drink, and and she came and gave me a kiss. I'm like, and went like this, like, I'm not entertaining that. To me, that was a setup. I'm like, hell no. And she was fine, I was like, I'm not entertaining that nonsense, I just left it as is and it stay as is, I'm not, because to me I was like,
question though, what if your wife was testing you with her? Did you go back and tell your wife that happened?
Of course I told my wife.
What did she say?
I told her later on, she said, well, I knew that was her. I'm like, I knew, because she always
she knew that was her personality.
Yep, that was her personality. Yep. And so
but at least you told her, because had you kept it a secret, that means there was some underlining things that maybe you wanted to explore with her friend. So it was good that you brought it out.
I told her, I said, the person you did that she's your friend. I said, let me tell you, she's not your friend, because what she did was just unacceptable, because to me I was like, because if you're gonna do something, not something with a so-called close friend of your wife, and do, it doesn't make any sense, So I keep those things out of boundaries, out of limit, and that's exactly what I do. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So I don't know. So you under the terms that it just won't work, and you might be in them places that you see it, but it's different because you met a good religious Catholic woman that had morals. So is it just the guys are not meeting the correct women? They're not trusting. They,
Well, that's a good point. First of all, because when I first met my wife, I wasn't aware of the Dominican culture, what it entails, what it entitles, what it entitles. So over the years, I've learned exactly how the culture is. It's really, once you know culture in depth, you realize that it's casual dating, casual sex. It's so common, and within the people you expect the least, And I've seen it. I've lived it with different people. I'm like, wow, I wouldn't think that it would be possible, And like I know, for instance, not going far, my wife, she has a cousin that she's waiting for paperwork to go because her husband is Dominican. That they married, they go to the States. But the last time I see her in a club with somebody else, I was like, okay. When you see those things, you're like, wow, how many more are just in that situation, It just makes you think, and that's pretty much, I have like another story. I have a friend in Dubai. He's from Pakistan. And then every morning, there's a local girl, she's Emirati, who comes to his place and services him. So the husband thinks she's at work, right? So she has the same schedule. She gets home at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon every day. She's about 7 o'clock. But before she gets to work, she gets serviced. And my friend came to me and said, I'm tired of this because, I don't operate well in the morning. That's what he said. He said, my thing don't work in the morning. I like to, but like it's the only time she has available. She comes to his place, do her thing, and goes to work. So she has that set schedule. And you talk about a very, between quote, conservative place, and you see those things. Then you wonder, what's the reason? Well, then I find out that her husband has like 4 wives. She doesn't get serviced. So, therefore, she looks for that intimacy elsewhere, So those cases are so common. So to me, I believe that, when you're in a relationship, unless you have that physical contact in a constant manner, then, she won't find the need to go elsewhere. But if you like once in the blue moon and you're too busy with something, guess what? Someone else will take care of that. That's my philosophy, and the Bible and that book to avoid any type of nonsense because I've seen it, I've lived it in the most conservative place. I'm like, Well, the difference is women are not as vocal as we are, because we say, hey, we did this, you see this girl? Women will keep the secret for themselves, That's the difference, They will
they'll take it to their grave.
Oh, yeah, they won't say anything, So you think that, even the best friend doesn't know. And this lady in Dubai that I gave a perfect example. I mean, her husband will never know. He will never know. He will never find out. Because she has a set schedule. She knows she's leaving at work at home at 7. She get home at 4 o'clock, but she doesn't know on the way to work. Someone is taking care of her thing, And then I can understand that because if you have 4 wives. Think about it.
4 wives. God. Dog.
Yeah. Do you have times to do? It's impossible. It's impossible, So once one of them gonna get a short end of the stick, and that's probably her. So she was looking for a thing elsewhere, and
right.
Yeah. So that to me, that emotional connection.
At 4 wives, I think he would expect it.
Well, here's the thing:
somebody's not being satisfied well enough.
But it's now things have changed in the United Arab Emirates. Things are not the same because the young generation, they're just in the monogamous relationship, they're looking for wife. Because first of all, financially, it doesn't make any sense. And what do you want to have 4 wives? Because we're gonna have a preference of one, and after a while, to me, just ego. Doesn't make any sense to entertain. Having 4 women at the same time. That 4 women doesn't make any sense. Right. From a standpoint, the moment they have, they think that's what they need to do. So they have, they can do it. But to me, I look at financially just a headache, and even emotionally, and physically. Imagine, it just, yeah. So that's what it is. So yeah.
Can always say the brother seems like he got some great points. He done seen Pedro, he done seen Muhammad over there doing it. He done seen all of it. So he's got first hand knowledge of what's going on.
They just chose wrong people. That's it.
Well, I can agree with you, but it's like a lottery to be able to choose, as you said, the right person. It will take a while because when you first meet a person, first of all, it depends on which circumstances. Like you go to a club, you meet a girl, okay, perfect. You start, you kick it, then she seems what it is, and then over time things change, So unless you do a background check, a family background check, it's not easy to really to initially unless you grew up with the person, then things can be different. You know the person to some extent, but you still don't really do because usually as men, especially us who travels a lot, we go places. You meet girl in the club, you meet girl in the bar, you meet girl in the restaurant. We don't meet them at church, we don't meet them at school, we don't meet them at university. We don't meet them in the workplace. We meet them in specific circumstances. So you don't know the person until you're actually involved into the relationship, So to me, just it's a lottery, but it's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. I've been married 3 times. My last one, so I was my 2 first were Americans. Then my last was Dominican, and that's the one that lasted the longest.
3 times.
With your American chica, brother.
Yep, my first marriage lasted. I was married from. I remember I was too young. I remember when I was 22. I was married from March 31st, 1995, up to November 96. And after that,
a black woman.
She was a black woman. She was actually she was born in the States, but dad was Jamaican, mom was American. And then after that, I dated as a girl from DC, but parents were from Louisiana. We were together. We had that's more about my oldest daughter. She's 24.
Another black woman.
Another black woman. We were married from 98 up to about 2003. Lasted like almost 4 years. Then after that, this is my last one. We lasted like 20 years. So so it took me 3 times to get it right. I guess I don't know.
To let you know what you just stated. That probably shouldn't go past this panel. There's some spaces where that will not be accepted.
I know.
You might not want to say that too loud.
I know. So
So what do you find different? I mean, okay, I'm supposing you were with those people. Do you find just the culture was different? Do you find, you've seen it. What do you find is different
between
those women, your woman? How did that work? And I'm still waiting for the pushback from Kano. I thought he was bringing the fire. I seen him sipping on.
He said he agreed with him.
I agree with him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna disagree for the sake of disagreeing. So he made some valid points, and it's like, yeah, he's right, and he clarified. So I was like, okay, I'm good.
I mean, Phil, as you've mentioned, compared to my first wife and my actual one, night and day, night and day. The treatment, the caring. I mean, before I felt like I was dealing with another man in the house. I mean, the cleaning, the house chores was always, you clean your plates, you have to do this, and but now I'm like, my wife, even when I get mad, she doesn't argue back with me. She just looked at me like, okay, when you don't, she talks to me. We don't have that yapping going back and forth. And sometimes I even feel stupid after I do that because I'm like, well, what did I argue with her? I should have just kept my mouth shut. So I just retract myself. While before it was like,
So you're saying that your Dominican wife doesn't, what would be the word I'm trying to find?
It's not tick for tack. She doesn't retaliate. She doesn't actually. We have that.
She's in her feminine. I just say she's in her feminine.
Oh, 100% feminine. I mean, I'm here. I feel like, she's worried about something. She acts, if I'm upset, she will ask me, what's wrong with you? She want to know, when you were ready to talk. Before, if you mad, that's your problem, like, I mean, so it's a whole different, ball game. It's incomparable, 100%. I mean, because we need to understand. I mean, I'm not saying that Latin Americans are perfect or anything of nature, but we have to look at the cultural aspect. Those girls are bred to take care of their mate, of their husband. That's how they look at it, and they don't see themselves as our equal. They don't see it at all. You just don't see it. Like it was a small incident, a very small thing. And
I mean,
sure,
but isn't that more of a society thing? Because here's my thing. We need to stop comparing. It's a cultural thing, but also a society thing. Like we need to stop comparing American culture and way of life and how we are as people. Americans, we tend to be more go-getters, men and women. We tend not to be pushed. We tend to push back as people, as Americans. No, I'm saying as Americans, men and women.
You said something interesting.
Because, like, okay, for me, I'm Haitian, right? I'm Haitian. I'm from Haiti. Okay. And the thing is, my personality is a lot more aggressive than my brothers and sisters. Do you know why?
Because you grew up here.
I grew up here. My demeanor, my attitude, the way I see things, the way I tend to be the most aggressive person in my family. Because the way I think like an American. I do like American. Like even my little sister, she's the same way. Compared to my older brothers and sisters who were raised in Haiti, they're not like that.
That's what I've said. It's a cultural thing. So culturally, they were bred from the beginning to be in that symphony. But let me tell you something. I know a girl. She's actually a minister of the public administration. And guess what? She makes more than her husband. She's still a woman. She's still feminine. And she makes more than he does. And, it's not like, financially, she can just tell, you know what? I don't need you. I can actually maintain myself. I don't need you. But she's still there. And she worships her husband I'm like, it's unbelievable. I'm like, this is wild. I'm like, and I've seen so many cases where women are empowered because you'll meet some women in the DR that actually have great jobs, great financial position. And it's
but their culture is not designed that way.
Exactly.
But also too, their society doesn't accept that type of behavior because they understand, like, listen, as a woman, you still need to act like a lady. Here in the United States, it's completely different. We're raised to be more independent. We live in a very independent society, not a collective society.
I agree with you 100%. And you said something.
Go ahead.
You see, you're Haitian. My dad is Haitian. My mom is Congolese.
Okay.
My dad moved to the Congo in the early '60s. I don't know if you remember. They sent professor.
Yeah,
In the early '60s. My dad was part of that batch. He met my mom, so I spent my first 16 years in the Congo, then moved to the state, and then after that, exactly. So I have an idea of of the Haitian background and the Congolese background, which is very similar. So so I had the opportunity to be able to see those two cultures, and after then in the United States, I can actually have a good idea of exactly how culturally what it entails. So I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like when we always compare apple to oranges, it's not a fair comparison because again, the way we are here in the United States, I mean, look at the men of Dominican men versus American men. American men would blow Dominican men out of the water, real talk, real fast, real aggressively, because the way we think, the way we are, the way we see things.
I agree with you because I mean the reason I've said that I was asked the difference between my ex-wives and my actual wife. I just made that comparison. If that cultural aspect of it suit me the best, of course it does. Because I feel because we need to understand by nature, man, we are like that. We want to be taken care of. We want to be pampered. That's our nature. You know what I mean?
So would you say we as foreigners are benefiting from someone else patriotic society?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. So
I'm gonna disagree with you, Kanal, when you say we blow them out the water. When I've gone to DR, I did not see a welfare system. I seen when you wake up, if you don't work, you don't eat. They have a hustle mentality that I have to make it. This guy's here in the States, lazy.
I don't see that.
Nothing. You don't see.
I don't.
You don't see no lazy dudes here.
I see. Wait, hold on. I see that shit. I see that. I've seen that in every country I've been to as well. And trust me, I could call. We're not. Men are not on Section 8, so let's not use that. Let's not use that.
Section 8, unemployment, whatever.
No men. Okay, the way our American society, no men are currently on welfare. That's only designed for women.
No, welfare can be for men. Just a correction.
Which one is that? Do you know any man getting any food stamps right now?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay.
I know one who gets food stamps.
Yeah. He's probably cheating the system purposely. So it's
they were like, I can't work. They were doing 20 hours and they were getting food stamps.
Yep.
Again, they were doing it purposely. They feel like, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna get this free money. I'm gonna take it.
Okay, they still took it. They were still, we out there.
But black men travel. Where are you in the state? In New York?
No, I'm in Georgia, Atlanta.
Okay, yeah. But have you seen all those Dominican? They own all the bodegas. Those. I mean, it's a hustle mentality. I mean, all the bodegas. I mean, they actually. And do you know that last year, I believe, I don't have the numbers clearly. I know it was 20% of the GDP of the year come from people sending money back to. Is it the billions of dollars that would actually send back here? So they really, you'd be surprised that those guys go there with a purpose, and they really.
But I mean, but at the same time, strictly Charlie, I think that applies to all immigrants. Immigrants who that's coming from another country, that come to the U.S., they see it as a land of opportunity because these are the same opportunities that they never had before in their country. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. But what I was saying was pretty much in reference to what you said that black men will blow Dominican men out of. So I'm not sure about that.
No, I said American men. I didn't say black men. I said American men.
American men.
Yeah. So it's like the thing is because the way we are, if you are part of the capitalism, if you believe in that, we tend to take advantage of that opportunity.
But here's the thing. I wouldn't make it.
Here's how you're wrong. You just prove yourself wrong because you said that an immigrant that come. So will an immigrant? That
No, see, go ahead. I'm gonna check you on this. Go ahead, because I'm speaking from experience. But go ahead.
Immigrant that comes to the United States blow Americans out the water.
I never said that. Hold on. I never said that.
Because they come with the mentality that this is the land of opportunity, that I have to make it work, that I've been given this opportunity, I can do it. The problem is the people who live here get lazy, they get satisfied, and they do not work. They don't go for it. That's why the immigrants from Nigeria, the first generation come here, Asians, first generation, Indians, all of them are more successful than the people here because we think we already have it and we don't have to work for it. They come here with the hustle mentality. They come here that we got to make it work. So
But,
how can you say
wait. See, now you're twisting it. Hold up. This is where you're twisting it. I said in their country, they're not doing that.
They just don't have the opportunity. That doesn't mean they can't do it.
All right, then. So if you don't have the opportunity, wait, they do have the opportunity to do that.
If
you
you
talking about,
put them in their country, do you think that they would survive the same way the Dominican would survive?
See, if you take an American, hold up.
It can come to the United States and make it, but can an American go to DR and make it?
I think so. Yes, I think they can.
Starting with
wait, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Look at Punta Cana. Who owns majority of all that shit over there?
But that's rich white people. Who own the majority of stuff
No,
over here?
Hold on. The Punta Cana group is owned by a family called Ryanair, which is a Dominican family. Are actually they're in billions of dollars. It's Ryanair. His name is Frank Ryanair. Is the richest man in Punta Cana in DR, and it's Dominican. So the whole development of Punta Cana is actually a Dominican guy who actually decided to do it. But the buyers are Canadian, Americans, and now guess who? Haitians. All the rich Haitians who left Haiti coming to DR and buy all those properties.
Okay. We're gonna use DR as a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
I met this construction owner. He told me the reason why he tended to hire Haitians over Dominican is a Dominican dude. Dominican dudes don't want to work. They don't want to work in the sun. Wait. Hold up. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Haitians are foreigners, so they go into that country willing to work for whatever. So they got that hustle grind mentality. Hey, listen, I'm just trying to survive. Immigrants come to the U.S. have that same mentality. They realize, hey, I'm just trying to survive. I'm on survival mode. I got to make this happen. I'm part of that immigration group that came here during the 1970s. That we didn't have the luxury of food stamps and Section 8. My mom ain't had none of that shit. We lived right and spit shit in the ghetto. So my thing is this. I just feel like sometimes Americans, and you're right about this, we don't realize how good we have it until we leave and go to another country. But we have the skill sets. Every American, even Pookie and Ray Ray, has the skill set to be successful anywhere he goes. If you look at your local drug dealer, your local street drug dealer, he can make shit happen if he wanted to.
Well, here's the thing, Black Control. You mentioned
he has the opportunity, not the skill set, and he's not taking advantage of the opportunity. Because the same guy who washing windows or watching your car windows over in DR is a hustler. He can make it happen.
Yeah, but you mentioned something saying that the Haitians who comes to DR and work, saying that Dominican are lazy. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's the same thing as the Mexican who go to the United States and work in the orange field,
agriculture.
Construction. It's the exact same thing. So Dominican won't do those type of jobs because those jobs are underpaid. So therefore, the migrant, the one who has less opportunity in their countries, come here and do it. It's the same thing in the United States. So, I mean, the same thing when Peruvian comes to Chile, and it doesn't apply to whole Haitian because the other day, I went to a place called, I don't know if you heard of Palos, Fearless. It's a very popular bar in Piantini, Palos. And I was talking, every time I goes there, there's a group of Haitians sitting there. The other day I just went and sat down with them. Guess what? They own the place. Fresh food in the yard. It's owned by Haitian. Guess what? Well, even though people don't consider me as Haitian, all the Texaco here in the DR are owned by Haitian guy, Gilbert Bijou. People don't consider him as Haitian, but I mean, he has a Haitian passport. He was born in Haiti. Gilbert Bijou owns all the Texaco here. So you have lots of. So what I mean by that, we have a tendency of pretty much encapsulate, put a group of people in the same basket, but then you have a group of them who actually making the economy work. So technically, without Haiti, there's no Dominican economy. You'd be surprised. The border market. I mean, they have that bilateral market they have in in the border. I mean, you know how many millions of dollars this contribute to the Haitian economy when the border was closed. You know, those people were complaining because they were saying like people from Haiti come and buy millions of billions of Dominican pesos, and I was surprised to see that. I was like, wow. They understood things a little bit better. Like lots of those businesses.
To be honest, just to piggyback what you said, Strictly Traveler, when the Dominicans decided to play that hostile bullshit game and closing the border, guess who did it hurt the most? It didn't hurt the Haitians. It hurt the Dominicans.
It did.
The Dominicans were protesting like, yo, we need to open the borders up because we're not making any money and we're losing. So interesting point, Strictly Traveler.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That whole area was just dead. People were complaining. I've seen a lady. She was like, she was selling 700,000 pesos minimum a day, and when you convert it to dollars, that's like $15,000. I'm like, $11,000. I'm like, hey, and look at this lady. Like, are you serious? It's huge. I was like, wow. Would have I known it? I got business because
would have built a stall and started doing it yourself.
I was like, wow.
Currency exchange is big money.
I'll say this.
I want to answer this question from Phenom 11. He says Americans understand the business systems of entrepreneurship. Bullshit. Understanding and doing is two different things. Because I know foreigners that come here that open businesses, open the salons, open. Understanding doesn't mean anything because you're not doing it. Americans work for other people. Foreigners usually have their own little business, their own little side hustle, their own little shop. No matter what they're doing, it's like we make fun of the Jamaicans. I remember when I used to watch
13 Jobs.
Yeah,
Living Color.
I got this job. I got this job. I got this. I'm a taxi driver. That's entrepreneurship. Americans may understand something, but they don't do it.
I agree with you.
Let me ask you, if you understand business and entrepreneurship, do you have your own business? Are you an entrepreneur? 99% of Americans are not.
But you know
a lot of people don't have the stomach for it. It takes a special person to go out there on their own with no fucking umbrella and make it happen.
But do you guys know that more than 40% of the motels in the United States are owned by Indian American?
Yes.
And 70% of them are Gujaratis.
Yeah, and you know what happened? I read that story. Here's what happened. One of them came over, and this is what they did. They bought the hotel and said, you know what? We don't have to hire anybody because we're going to have our family do it. And our family is going to clean the hotel, and we're going to live in the hotel. And when they bought that hotel and lived in it, the nephew came over and they bought another one. And he did the same thing. And 70% of the Patels own the United States. So you can't tell me that we know entrepreneurship. They came over with nothing, and now they own 70% of it.
I mean, the Mexicans do the same thing. When they buy one house, they bring everybody into that one house, and all of them are good contractors and construction people. They'll buy a house, renovate the hell out of it, move that family over, and they do it again and again. They'll own the whole fucking block. They do it all day, every day.
And I think Trini was on here yesterday. Foreigners come in and say, and Indians will do it. If you tell an Indian you're gonna, an Indian family, oh, I just want to be, somebody normal. No, it's like, no, doctor, lawyer, engineer. I mean, it's just ingrained in them. Doctor, lawyer, engineer. That's
I mean, shit. I was told that in my household. If you're not a doctor, lawyer, engineer, you're a failure.
So
I was told that at a very young age, man. So for me, once I told my because at first I was an engineer major. And once I decided engineer was for me, I went into business. My mom said, like, you failed me. I'm like, God damn, shit. It's like, I got a damn degree.
The same thing with me, because that's a Haitian mentality, either you're engineer or a doctor. That's the only thing that matters, Listen, we have my whole family is full of doctors within the United States. I'm like, that's all they do, If you didn't go to engineering or you're not a doctor, you failed, They're like, that's pretty much, yep.
And my sisters, all my sisters, I have 4 sisters, all head nurses, all of them. It's just like, you tell your mom you becoming a teacher? What? You ain't becoming a teacher. She'll go to school with you, make you withdraw from that program and register to that nursing program. Like, no, I'm gonna be right there while you doing it.
So how can you say that we are better off than the foreigners?
No, here's the thing.
It's proving my point. It's not your point.
I I said as Americans, if we were to go to their country, I never said this country.
But guess what?
Listen to what I said. I said we go to their country. Most of the businesses that you see in these countries, particularly DR, because you have more American expats, are opening businesses there. It's not the local Dominicans are doing it. It's the expats.
Which color are they?
Most of them are shit, depending where you are, though. If you're in the North Zone, South Zone, which areas? Central?
Listen,
East?
I've been to Punta Cana. Unfortunately, all the owners are white people. It's sad to say.
They're all Russians. They're all Russians.
No, you're gonna see. Punta Cana, you have Russians, Canadian, and Americans. But guess what? I've been there because I have a place in Punta Cana, and then the guy who sold me the place, and he was saying, I imagine I was the first black person to buy in Cap Cana, and I was shocked to see that.
That's a nice place.
But guys, I did say Americans. I didn't say black American, white American. I didn't put race in. I said Americans.
I agree with you because do you know there's another thing in the Congo? The richest man in the Congo, his name is David Blackner. Guess where he's from? United States. He lived in Kinshasa, the DRC, for years, established an empire. Because the thing about us, unfortunately, we have lots of prejudices. We come to a place, we start looking at the negative things, and we just run with it. While the other one, the other race will come there and look at an opportunity and run with it. Things that we don't do. And I've seen it, which is a sad reality. I've seen it. We have lots of... you're more likely to see... You're less likely to see a black guy in an African country doing well, but you guys see the white guy, he doesn't even criticize. He get there and go in the woodwork, and he will do extremely well. And I've seen it on multiple occasions.
How many passport bros are going down to DR over 10 years, 15 years? They don't own nothing. They could have instead of paying all that money to go to a hotel, they could have bought them a house. They could have had their own place and rented out Airbnbs. They could have done that, but they rather spend money on hoes and clothes because that's all a brother knows.
I disagree with you because there are many brothers who are actually doing that, and I know them personally.
You say many. Hold up. Many means
okay,
a lot.
all right, man. All right.
Many compared to the...
Let's use some. Some.
No,
just to...
there are always exceptions to the rules. But let's be honest one another. We have to change the way we look at things because unfortunately I've seen maybe because I have a more complex background, and to me, I was surprised to see that. Like for instance, when you go to Cap Cana, Punta Cana, as a U.S. citizen, you can buy a house you can mortgage a house, put a 20% down payment, and finance the rest, just like in the United States. And you have property, you can get a beachfront property for $200,000, $250,000. Then I don't see brothers doing that. And it's a great place. The good thing about it, you don't have to pay. They have a law, it's called Comfort Tour, where you exempt from property taxes for the next 20 years. So think about it.
Well, strictly travel. Well, I think it's more out of ignorance because again, a lot of people don't know about the investment opportunities overseas. They don't know about it. So imagine
we don't know about it, but the other one knows about it. That's the difference. How did they find it?
Because wait, hold on, let me finish. The reason why the other groups know about it because they talk to each other. We as black men, we don't talk to each other. We don't. I could walk past by Fearless. You won't say shit to me. I won't say shit to you. But not knowing that you and I could actually break bread and actually do something together. We as black people, when I mean black, African, Caribbean, African Americans, we're not collective. We're compared to Canadians, Russians, German. They're very collective. If you open a German restaurant, guess what? He's always going to have business because he has that German flag. You open an Italian restaurant, he's always going to have business.
I agree with you.
But we as black people, we're not going to do that.
Exactly.
Because we don't share information.
I agree with you. If Fearless open a business, my duty is to buy from his thing. You know what I mean? That's what I will do. But we don't do that. We rather go buy elsewhere because we don't want to see the other doing better than we do. So to me, I'm like, if you open a business, the first customer has to be you. If you have a business, if your customers aren't your friend, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
And where I live at, there's a grocery store called Fiesta. I don't know if y'all have Fiesta down there in Atlanta, but Fiesta is like they sell all the Latino stuff.
Okay.
And I've gone there and I'm like, oh man, this is more expensive than like a Kroger's, but they don't care. This is where the Latinos come because they feel comfortable.
Yeah, Bravo. That's where all the Hispanics goes. Bravo.
Yeah, Bravo. Yeah, that Bravo here. I know the same group, but Bravo is huge here in the DR.
They
Yeah,
support each other. We don't.
You know, if we're to support each other.
Listen, everybody, when I say we, I'm talking about y'all. Because Kanal knows, we even had a conversation. We hook people up and we converse. There was a gentleman that was interested in cyber. And it's like, whatever information, do this, do that. There's no charge. I'm trying to get brothers to do. So we share information. We hope that you guys can start doing it. So not all of us are the same that we speak of here. So we want to try to set an example for that. We want to promote Black power, Black entrepreneurship, Black sharing of information. So if you go to his blog, his Facebook, all of that is wealth sharing and how to do it. So not everybody we talk about is like that. Some of us are very different. I just want to make that clear. So the people in this panel are not the same as what we're talking about. We're talking about the majority. It's sad that we are the minority, but understand that.
I know it's very sad. I mean, because I mean, as us as Black people, we should be able to, especially Black Americans, I mean, should be able to be so powerful but we don't do it because we're too busy criticizing one another.
I agree.
And then after that, at the end, you don't get anything done because I have a very unfortunate occasion where I met a guy that came from YouTuber. He came to DR and we met. And then next thing I know, the guy's backstabbing me. I'm like, I said, well, I haven't done anything to the guy. I haven't done one thing negative to the guy. The only thing we couldn't agree, he wanted to go to Sosua. We had some type of, it was supposed to be early. Then I get, the guy he made the whole life criticizing. Like I said, hold on. I mean, I don't understand this thing because, I mean, all I meant was from the goodness of my heart, let's go together. I want to pick you up and do this. We slept late, so I couldn't get up on time. So the guy I said, hold on. And that's the thing among us. I mean, instead of collaborating, I mean, help each other out, build something together. We don't do that. Listen, I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for the past 12 years. I was able to, I work in finance. I do investments into real estate. We do funds management, we do venture capital, just the whole thing we do. I mean, just name it, we do it. So when I look at this thing, I was like, well, we can build things together. But I've tried, and unfortunately, when I've been backstabbed, it was never by the other race. It was by my own people, and I found that it was very sad to see that. So I said, well, what choice do I have left? It's not like I want to work with those guys. But guess what? Those guys respect me. They don't even. So then you look at this thing. I said, why? My idea was to pretty much build a Black company. At the end, it became, I'm the only Black. I mean, well, it's, I would say 20% Black. The rest is actually white people. I said, oh, it shouldn't be this way. I should have white partners. I should have Black partners where we build a strong company, a strong society. We can actually help each other out and lift ourselves up with but it's been literally impossible.
And you're right. And here's the thing, right? I'm going to Cali, Colombia in 2 weeks. There's a small little YouTuber in Cartagena. He's a Colombian guy. I actually did his first live with him. And since then we got close. And I say, you know what? Hey, I'm flying to Cali, Colombia for the Afro-Colombian Festival. And I need a local. He's Black Colombian. I say, you know what? I'm going to pay for your trip. Don't worry about the lodge. You stay with me. But I'm gonna need you to be my guy. You Colombian, you Afro. You're gonna represent me. I paid for his airfare. It was only cost me $100. It's like it ain't nothing. So he's gonna meet me in Cali. He's gonna meet me in Cali, Colombia, and he's gonna be my point person. And I told him, listen, your primary job is to protect me and make sure that everything is fine and we're gonna have a good time. And guess what? We're gonna create content together. To this day, he's constantly thanking me. I can't wait for this trip, man. It's like, he's a small YouTuber. He's trying to create content or whatever. I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. And again, he's like, he said he doesn't have the money. It's like, listen, I'll take care of the lodging and I'll take care of the airfare. Just make sure you got money to eat. I ain't feeding you. So it's like, it's just like, at least have food to eat. Like bars, I'll take care of it. And guess what, man? We're gonna go down there and collab, and just create some content. And again, you are Afro-Colombian in Cali. I'm gonna need you to be my point person. Yeah. So anything we do, we're gonna do it together, and we're gonna build that relationship. And that's what it is. And I think as Black people, we don't do that. There's always that give and take. That's like, what can I get out of that person?
Exactly.
Versus just doing something out of like, hey, you know what? Let me build that relationship and see where it goes. Now, granted, he could fuck me over. He could just not show up. I don't know. But until then, it's like, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Yeah. And then I remember this guy I met. He said, "Well, I even made a big talk to some other people I know." He said, "I even paid an Uber to go see him." I'm like, "That's normal." So I look at that pettiness. I was like, "Oh my God, what kind of people I'm dealing with?" I'm just surprised because like I say, well, it's very unfortunate. Like I've been in business for. I had good venture. I failed. I did well. I can't count how many business I've had. So I had a big distribution. I used to distribute alcohol all across Chile. Then I was part of a group called the Jumbo Group, like the Paris Group. Actually, they bought my production out because I just couldn't meet the quota for after a certain time. But so I have multiple venture over the years, but like I've said, but the people that actually betrayed me and backstabbed me were my own people. And it's sad to say that I'm like, wow, what can we just work together, build something? If we're united, we'll be huge. That's something we like. It's just united, bro. If we're able to build, because listen, like for instance, because I work with big group. They have literally endless financing. It's Arab group. So whatever, if the project makes sense, they will go ahead and finance it. Because the thing about the Arab world, those guys got cash, but some they don't have the acumen, or they got the cash but don't have the idea. Or like right now we're building in Punta Cana, and guess what? I spent $0, but I have 20% of the company because I brought the project on the table.
Wow.
That was part of the deal. I didn't have the, so they say, well, because in the UAE they have a system where you can buy a unit within. They will build the infrastructure, build the buildings, all the infrastructure with all the specs, and then after that it's going to be managed by either the Ritz-Carlton or the Marriott. I'm part of the Marriott, or whatever those big operator, and you can own a unit within that. You can own a unit, let's say Fearless own unit 504. So whatever revenue, so the management can get 30%, the other 70% go to Fearless. That's how it works. So this concept was existing in the DR. So I told my guys, I said, well, here it's cheaper to build. So let's go ahead and do that. They looked at it, bro. I did the meeting of Zoom, and they signed everything. They said, well, let's go for it. They didn't even come and see the thing, And I'm like, I said, hold on, They didn't ask me, well, are you gonna rob me? Are you gonna, because those guy knows that, well, they can find you anyway, So they don't worry about it, So that's but we bought they bought the land. It was now we're actually building this thing and it's going well. I'm like, I said, hold on, what can't we do it? Because let's say I'm gonna tell Phil, I say, well, Phyllis, I have a business. It's gonna cost about $1 million. How much you got? 50. Okay. You can get 200 people to put $50,000. Guess what? I won't get a Black person to do so. So you're gonna ask me why and this and that. Well, the Arab people, they're like, okay, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it and let's make it happen. No question asked. If the thing makes sense, they go with it. But us, by nature, we're gonna find the but to the thing and why not, and then also there's a power struggle. Everybody want to be a leader.
Yeah.
Everybody go ahead.
We'd rather have 100% of nothing than 1% of $1 trillion.
To me, I'm like, I say, well, they say, listen, I've tried to do business with the guy, and I even met him in person. And I said, okay, well, it's good in crypto. And I'm telling me, well, we're gonna do a 30-70. Because I'm putting the cash, like but crypto, you're gonna do these things. The guy said, no, you want 50-50. And I'm like, I said, hold on. I said, hold on, it doesn't make any sense. At the end, we didn't do that. We set up the company, but we didn't go through with it because he didn't agree with me. I'm like, I said, hold on, it doesn't make any sense. So we want 50-50. If all you do, I'm putting the cash up, you're gonna do the trading and see how it goes. Because it's a small amount. If it goes well, if it goes well, we'll proceed. And guess what? Big mess. The guy said, no, I want 50-50 of nothing. And I'm like, I said, hold on, it doesn't make any sense. It's something to 30%. And over the time, you get money, and you can do your own thing by your own, and you can live because there's no such a thing as. Right now, I'm right now I'm in the DR, Mr. Joe. Yeah. So that's how it is. So it's very sad to see that. I'm like, I said, well, what's like you said, Felix? I mean, they rather have 100% of everything, and I mean, you would have 30% of something. Now is what 30 times 0 is 0, 50 times 0 is 0. So now, I mean, it's up to them. I said, let's give it a shot and see how it goes. If it goes well. If you really know what you're doing, and I just went his word because he didn't send me any proof, any performance of what he did in crypto. He just sent me some more screenshot. I said, give it a bit of a doubt. I said, let's go ahead and do it if you can do it. Let's do it. We never know. I was willing. He said, well, we need $6,000 to do the whole thing. I said, no. Let's start with a small amount. We're gonna set up the company where I have ownership of the company. And then you will start with a small amount, like $15,000. You see the trade and how it goes, and if it goes well, then slowly but surely. But I want to have control of the trade because I want to know what you invest in. He said, no, I should be able to do everything. I said, no. You have to consult me before you do any type of investment as an investor. And he said, well, we can do it, but 50-50. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. And at the end, we didn't do it, and it's very sad to see it. Very sad.
I walked away from deals like that, which is just it's bad. When back in the day, there was a deal with Procter and Gamble, and they were trying to get minority vendors. And there was a group of us. Me and a buddy, we had basically a printing place. We tried to get guys to come in and said, look, the problem is you needed to have so much revenue in order to work with. Because what they didn't want is if they were going to be a $2 million, a $3 million, a $5 million a year contract for you, they didn't want their place. They didn't want to be the majority of your business because they didn't want to take advantage of it. So we tried to combine and bring some people in and say, hey, you do this for them. You're doing like the nickel and dime stuff, the stuff that nobody wants to do. That's what they're giving to you, the little piecework. And I said, we don't have to do that. We can all come together. We can make a conglomerate, an LLC, and we can get a big piece of this pie. Not only do we doing it, this is what they are informing us to do. They are telling us, you want to do this? This is what you need to do.
Right.
We couldn't get none of them together. I mean, we
do it. All Chiefs, no Indians.
Yeah.
I had a company I went to work for. I worked for plenty of Fortune 100 companies and senior level management. And I saw this new upstart medical supply company is owned by a brother. So I went in and actually started working with him. Looked at his company, evaluated what sales aspects he had aside from medical supplies. Come to find out he had a pharmaceutical license to resell pharmaceuticals. I'm a government contract guy. I came from the government. I understand government contracting. I immediately went into the state, got listed as a pharmaceutical provider. Within 6 months, I had a $7 million deal to deliver all the flu vaccine for the whole state of California from a Black-owned business in Riverside, California. But the whole thing was he wanted a 30% profit. I said 30% of something is nice, but 30% of nothing means nothing. I said, if you look at the history, because on government contracting, you can look over the history of bids and see what the price margins were for prior bids. So I went through and looked at all the prior bids and said, look, typically you're going to get about 8 points on this deal, but that's 8 points on $7 million. Okay. And I'll show you how to work it on the back end to where you can possibly get more. So if we know it's going to be 8, we need to go around 5. Oh no, we need to be at 30. I said, you can stay at 30, but we're not going to win. I had to go through this process with him to make him understand you have to be competitive. I understand you have standards for the accessories or whatever, but when it comes to major deals, you got to give up something and you can get it on the back end. So anyway, we went in at about 5 points. We won the deal, $7 million. I have a contract in hand. I competed against the flu providers. They're the ones that gave me the price, but they're also the ones that produce the flu. So now that I have a contract in hand, guess what? I'm guaranteed to sell no matter what. So I go back and rebid out their price they gave me. I need your best price, so I'll go to the other provider that produces flu, and I'll buy their flu. So they all resubmitted prices to me. So even though I went in at 5, guess what I got on the back end? 9.5, almost 10 points on that deal by renegotiating on the back end once we secured the contract on a 5-point deal. Delivered on time, no problem. He's looking at me shocked. I said, there's always another way if you're willing to fucking listen.
Yeah, and we don't. We don't do that, and that's so sad.
Collectively,
and I know. Me and Ronan have been told that we ain't black and we not this, and almost like this. They say,
hey man, I've been messing with that AI, and every time I did that AI thing, trying to do my face and everything, man, I came out white. I'm like being insulted. I'm like, what
but the thing is,
and I asked for like a Creole black. I asked for a Creole black dude, and every time it comes back as a white guy, I'm like, man, if I run any of these fucking avatars, they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what the fuck is going on with Ronan over there looking white?
But they say it like it's a badge of honor, man. I mean, like, we don't want you in this club. And we're like, bro, that's not like an exclusive club. I mean,
I like that. Exactly. Yeah.
How many people are fighting to be black? You get what I'm saying? This is exactly. Are you kidding me? We are. That's what we are.
People don't want to be me, and I'm rich.
Remember, I always remember the Eddie. I think was it Eddie Murphy in Trading Places?
Mm-hmm.
When the guy wouldn't trade it because he was black, and say, I ain't doing that. So that, I mean, we are what we are. Yes. We are what we are. It's not like something, where we're supposed to be like, okay, like it's a club where you have to, by being a member, you're gonna have some type of perks. No, we don't. So let's be honest, So
exactly. Yeah. So, I'm gonna get us back to this long distance relationships.
Yeah, let's go back to it.
And I want to ask, do you think it's culturally? Do you think it has to do with culture? Meaning, I know you say no, and I'll ask this to the panel, Ronan and Kunal.
Man, you need to play this video real quick. It's going to spark a conversation. Go in the back chat and click on that link for that Instagram video.
In the private chat?
Yeah.
In the private chat. There's nothing
at the very top. It says LDR dating with a link. The very top.
Comments or in the chat. In the let's see. Go all the way back.
In the private chat.
I don't
have right-hand side.
No, sir. I got standby at 10:39. We see you in the green room. That's the last one I got.
No, you're in the chat. Go to the banners on the side where the banner and the brand and all that is. You see where it says private chat on.
Sorry, that's what you said.
Hey, before anything, I want to say it's been a pleasure to have Strictly Travel on this live stream, man. Like, I learned a lot from you, man. And it's just like, as a fellow Zoe, I mean, you know what I mean? So it's like, you see that Haitian flag behind me?
Oh, yeah.
Even though I have a Dominican wife, she sees this flag every damn day. So just like having Dominican,
You got a Dominican wife too?
Yeah, I have a Dominican wife.
all three of y'all do. I'm the only eyeball that have a Filipino.
Oh, wow.
All three of
That's
them.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will be the eyeball.
Listen, I tell all the time. Every time I'm in your damn country, I see them damn flags all over the goddamn place. And now you see my damn flag every day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all love, man. We have a great relationship, man. It's just like, for her to be around my people and I'm around her people, it's all love, man. So it's all good. That's why this whole thing about Haitian Dominicans don't get along, that's all bullshit.
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've seen, it just, I mean, it's a different, diaspora, a different life. It's a whole different, it's deeper than that. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
But I just want to say, man, listen, man, it's been refreshing when I mean refreshing to have someone with common sense who's traveling, who's not about chasing bitches and just out there making things happen. And so thank you for coming on the show, man. You really made the show really interesting. Thank you.
No, thanks to you guys for having me.
Cheers. But hey, the man's been married down there 20 years. So
and also too, man, you're more than welcome to join us anytime you want, man. You get VIP treatment. If I see you jumping on the stream, you skip everybody else.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
And we travel down there. I don't know when Canal's going back. I got a little situation.
I'm taking a break from DR, man.
I got a situation myself. I can't go back for.
What the fuck y'all doing down there, man? Y'all getting damn prorated out of that bitch? What the hell?
We're not in trouble, but I can see you in the spring. Maybe spring.
Okay, let me know. Record it. I'm always here. I'm always go back and forth, because like I said, we're doing so many development between so I'm between.
It's funny.
And DR, so yeah.
I told my wife that now that I marry her, I'm never going back. So it's just like I have no reason to go back.
Here in the States.
Yeah, so I told her like I'm never going back. You could take the kids with you. I ain't going.
Wow,
I'll pay for the tickets. I ain't going. I mean, it's just I'm DR out, man. I'm just.
Guess what? Here's the funny thing. I've said it because I came to DR like about 2 years ago, and before that, I haven't been here from the last time was 2010. Came 12 years later, came back. And then just run to the business opportunity. And I've said myself, I wasn't going back here. I said, I'm not going back to the DR, never. But guess what? Never say never.
I mean, granted, I got to see my mom-in-law. I got to see the family and everything else. But I told her, like, listen, now that you're here, I don't really have to go back. So you could go. You can spend 3 months. I don't care.
Where's she from in the DR? Where's she from? What part?
She's from Gaspar Hernandez, North Zone area.
Oh, you got yourself Santiago. Like, okay. Oh, yeah, nice.
She's from the Mocha area, so it's like
Mocha. Okay. So yeah. I know what she looks like. What about you, Fearless?
Santiago.
Guess what? Damn, that's funny. El Cibao, my wife from the Cibao as well. So we all. So okay. So I get the vibe. Yeah, I get it.
Actually, you know what? I could show you a picture of her, man.
I dated one. She just didn't work out. I'm sorry. I went Philippines now.
Oh, Philippines.
This is her right here. You see her?
Oh, yes, Santagina. Yep. Congrats, bro. Congrats.
Yeah, man.
That's sad. I don't think I can open. I got a picture on this computer. She gonna say
let me
that's
see.
On my profile.
Let me see if I got one of
Can you pull the video up or no? It's not coming up.
I don't see it. So if I go to banners, I don't see it. If I
go down to private chat. Under brand is private chat. Click on that little
I know
logo.
what private chat is. I'm saying there's nothing there.
Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up.
When I look at private chat, it just says Ronan, and it's at 10:39 was the first thing I see on there.
I just don't know if you're going to be able to hear it if I play it. Hold on, I got it set up. Let me zoom in on it real quick.
The wife wants to know what part of Santiago your wife is.
She's from Tamboril.
Tamboril.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? Listen, I don't want to segue the topic, but I want to, because all three of us are married to Dominican. A lot of Dominican women get a lot of bad rap because a lot of dudes just go to Sosua and they get caught up there. Is it true that like this whole notion that Dominican women are bad, they're not the wifey material? Do you guys agree or disagree with that?
No, I disagree totally.
Okay.
I am with you strictly, and what you said in the beginning is what made me fall in love. I think that they are a little more traditional. I don't have to deal with that masculinity. The femininity is fantastic. They Latin lovers, the way they love is completely different. It's I don't think you can find that. It's very difficult when you have that type of, okay, I see you on there.
Yeah, that's wifey.
Y'all ready real quick? Let me run this.
Yeah.
See if you can hear it first. I don't know.
You can't try a long-distance relationship. You have to be ready to commit and put in some extra work. Communication has to be your topmost priority. And even if there's nothing to talk about, just enjoy the silence. You have the power to make each other smile from far away, something that people living closer can't even do. The relationship is much more than holding hands and getting physical. You don't have to rush things if you're not ready. Go with the flow and love that. Get addicted to their voice and vice versa. You face both the struggles and hard feelings together in life. The willingness to be with each other in spite of the distance and the loyalty that you have for each other is unmatched. Sharing little things and making time for each other, no matter how the day was, feels like an achievement, and the efforts put in are worth everything. You're honest to each other, no matter how hard the truth is. And the best part is that you know that the distance is temporary and the connection that you're building is unexplainable. Drop a 100 if you agree with me, and pass this.
Y'all agree?
What you were saying, Kanal, I don't think it's the women that mess it up. I think it's the guys. Just like you said, Strictly, you went down there and you're like, my God, I'm losing my mind. I'm going over here to the mall. I'm going to Venezuela Avenue in the night. I'm partying this place. And I think it's us. It's the women can be traditional. I think we lose our mind when we, go there and we are in the land of milk and honey.
Yep. And then because as far as I'm concerned, like anywhere you go, you're gonna find good women and bad women. So we can't just something I just usually do not do. It's put everybody in the same basket, And I've known lots of respectable Dominican women with me for years and have a very healthy relationship. Like I've met some with like a messy relationship. Like I've been also anywhere we go, we're gonna find good and bad one. But then Susu have been so commercialized, and then people think that Susu represents the DR, which is not. Like for instance, one time I was gonna take a good friend of mine. I've known her for 20 years. She was like, let's go to Susua. I was supposed to go with this guy. She said, Susua and do what? She was like, there's nothing to do in Susua. She looked at me like, why Susua? She said, it's far, first of all. It's a waste of time. And I was like, really? Say, yeah, no, we'll go to Susua. You can go to Bonao. You can go to Harabacoa. You can go to Constanza. Why Susua? All you have in Susua is just pros. And I'm talking, it's a local one. She was like, don't go there. I was like, okay, guess what? I did not go. I still want to go and be able. I was saying, maybe over this weekend, I should go and see because I've been to Cabarete years ago with my wife. We went to a resort and we were there for Easter. What is called? They have a name for that. They use the DR. Semana Santa. We were there for Semana Santa, and that was years ago. After that, like now, we go to La Romana. We mainly go to La Romana and Punta Cana. We go there a lot. But Sosua, they say, well, there's nothing to look for in Sosua. So I haven't been there. But now that wife is not here, I'll say, let me go ahead and take a look at it to see what it's like, to see what's, And guess what? I've been by myself for like 3 weeks. I haven't even given myself a chance to go there. Like, I don't have that because, just me. I'm like,
you're not missing.
I was like, what is such that hype about this place? I want to see from my own eye because what I've seen on what people brag about, I've seen on all those YouTube. I don't see anything spectacular about it. I've seen much better in Santo Domingo.
you go to Agora Mall and it's way better. Just more than anything you'll see there.
Yeah, so I'm
I tell you what. All right, I tell you what.
Yeah.
If you want to experience Sosua, but not Sosua, go to Boca Chica. It's the same.
Yeah, I was in Boca Chica last for Father's Day. Someone took me to Boca Chica, and then so it's exact. So I was like, okay, I get an idea. We're actually in San Andres, Boca Chica, by the water, kind of Club Nautico. So we had a good time, So yeah, so I was like, there's so much hype about Sosua. But I've seen Santo Domingo. Much better. I go to place. I got a lot to. I've been to mixers. I've been to Paris. I've been to Sahara VIP. I go to these different places, and you see all those fine. And there's a club called The World, bro. It's just like it feels like fashion weeks. You know, you see. I'm like I said, why does guy go to Sosua? I'm confused about it. So I want to kind of get a feel by myself, be able to see firsthand what is the hype is all about, you know. But I'm looking at the time. I say it's kind of we talk about 3.5 hours from Santo Domingo. I'm like, I don't know if I want to give myself waste my time, go there and be disappointed. So I'm like, you know, just to me just to look to see what the hype is all about, but it's too far. It's too far. So I just
And I want to piggyback on what Ronan brought up with that video. I think that was really important.
Communication.
All of that. I think that is what sets the maturity level for guys when you have that communication, that being with it. And I don't know if it's an age gap, a maturity gap. You know, like Kanal even said, there's some things that he did when he was younger that, you know, he changed when he got older. And, you know, I don't know if it's, like I said, the maturity or age, but those things become entirely different. And I think that is why one of the reasons, you know, they make fun of us and say, oh, you date younger women. But I think those younger women admire those traits in older men, that ability to communicate, that all of those things. They admire those traits that Ronan brought up in that video, and that's what they are attracted to with us.
I agree with you, Fearless, and the level of conversation that you will have. It's gonna be. I mean, the depth that you'll have with those women. You know, it's more big. It's based on experience. You know, rather if you talk to a young dude, you just talk about literally nonsense. Because when I look at when I was in my 20s, I'm now like, I thought I knew something. I'm like, I had no clue.
Right.
I mean, emotionally, sexually, physically, I thought I was the ace of. I'm like, what? Yep.
This video is the essence of what you call bonding, pair bonding. Old term that's not used anymore because you can't really pair bond with all these promiscuous women that are out here in the society now. But this is an old school way of bonding, mentally first, spiritually, then physically. The memories you guys build when you take trips, that's bonding. So now you understand their mentality, you understand their physicality, beside for just the attraction and sex. I always say after a certain time period, you're going to have more in common than just sex as you get older. You're going to have a conversation with her after you get done.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
So if you're not bonded, if you don't have commonality, if you don't have common interest, you still be an individual, but there still has to be some common interest there. You know, and you don't discover those things until you take the time to talk. And so many relationships are so rushed. You don't really know the person. That's why you say, well, you got to live with them for 6 months. That's just to figure out their habits. But at the same time, you can pick up a lot of that right off the bat if you just have a fucking conversation.
Exactly.
And I'm going to give you a secret. It's an old school thing. The quicker to get a woman turned on is to control their imagination with your voice. When you can do that with your voice and tickle something in their brain, man.
That word salad gets them there.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, guys, gonna look like he about to fall asleep over there. I don't want to keep us.
No, I'm not falling asleep.
That brother's over there well fed. What you talking about? He getting the itis and everything.
No, I'm not falling asleep. I'm up, man. I'm up.
You want to keep going? You want to wrap this show up and
No, I mean,
we have an open panel. I don't know if anybody news come in, didn't know the panel was open. You are more than welcome to come up and chime in on the topic on LDR, whether that be here in the United States or overseas, doesn't matter. Still considered long distance relationship. And give us your conversation on what you think. Are they a viable option here in 2024, because now it's a whole new game.
I have a question for you guys. I don't know if you've realized that the older you become, the more communicative you are.
Absolutely.
Because I remember as I was young, it was pretty much like it wasn't any communication, and I've learned over time, and I've realized that it started. I mean, I'm 50 now, so really starting when I was going to my 40s, I realized like, wow, is it true that men really mature when they are 40? Because before that, I've realized that I
was
was
still a child.
Literally. Now I'm more about into communication. Like, for instance, I have the whole place by myself. But guess what? I am by myself. If I was younger, I would think, oh yeah, it's just me now. Let me see what I can call. And guess what? I've realized that
it's not worth it.
No, it's not. And I'm happy with myself because what should I be looking for? Unnecessary troubles that will hinder my relationship for some nonsense, Then guess what? I'm like, I never thought that at one point of my life I would reach that level. And I'm like, wow. I look back, I'm like, interesting. Right now, shoot, my place will be full, just for fun, just not for no particular reason, just because I can do it. I'm like, no. Like a friend of mine called and said, well, let's meet, let's go out. I'm like, well, I don't feel like it, And I saw this live. I'm like, well, let me join the live and entertain myself rather than waste my time, because I know it's going to be, it's not about the money thing, but it's the time and energy and money as well. I'm like, I'm going to waste money, buy a couple of bottles. Then what? Well, I can just go to La Sirena, I can go to Jumbo and get myself a bottle and enjoy myself and then just do the exact same thing, So I'm like, yeah, so I guess
I'm in the insurance business. I do a lot of retirement planning and stuff like that. But in the insurance business, they have actuarials. There's nothing you can do based on your lifestyle, your age, and everything else. They tell you exactly how long you're going to live, how long you're going to die, depending on how vicariously you want to live when you're on a vacation. Your risk factors, all these things fall into place. So as you get older, you start realizing you're your own actuarial. Damn, should I go out? Here are the things that could possibly happen to me when I go out. I can wind up running into some asshole, getting a fight in a bar, and be a fucking cliche. I can, you know what I'm saying? All these different things can potentially happen when you step out that door. You've seen those new commercials where a couple walks out the door and you start hearing cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It starts costing them money the minute they walk out the door for whatever reason, because it costs money to go outside your door. So you start reevaluating a lot of things that really make sense to you and whether they're worth the effort anymore.
No, I agree with you. And then like before, like I just came back from the UAE. I was in Dubai for a couple of weeks, and there they said that it was just work, home, work, home, work. And people were like, "Are you gonna go out?" I'm like, "Well, I was the type of guy like I have to be up in the morning. Then I want to be hangover. Then I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. I'm like, I'm like before." Here's me. I was like,
so caution to the wind. Fuck it, you out there till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, right?
So it just, because I guess maybe because I'm focused, I have a different purpose. I'm like, so that could be it. Because I don't know. It's not to be vulgar, but I had all the sex I could have had. I'm like, there's nothing new. What else?
This is what we're trying to make these younger guys understand. There's only so much of that you're going to want to tolerate. After a while, it's going to get boring to you. It's not even going to be fun.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like I'm wasting energy and time just engaging in those activities with the person that you don't even care about. I'm like, I don't waste my time anymore. I never thought that, I would. People say, yeah, because I'm old. I'm like, well, maybe that's it. But, I'm happy, right? I'm happier when, so to me, I can deal with that, because, I have grown kids, I have kids that are going to college, I'm like, I don't have time to, because here's the thing I was saying one time. I remember one time my son was asking me for, he wanted a PS5. It just came out. And I was about to say no. And I'm like, I said, hold on. But if a non-girl will ask you for, you're going to spend money on drinks that will amount to that amount of that PS5, you're going to say no. I'm like, oh, yeah. I said, go ahead. That's how I think now. That's my frame of thought. I'm like, before I do anything, I'm like, I say, well, because I have grown kids. They always have needs. I'm like, I'd rather dedicate myself, my cash to them than waste my time with some nonsense, because,
it's kind of funny, Strictly Travel, because for the past month, I put my son in coding camp.
Okay.
And each week I'm paying $300 each week. And I'm like, at first I was so against it. Then I realized, like, wait a minute. I probably would have used the money for other shit. But I'm giving my son an experience, and he loves it. He loves coding. And he's 12 years old. So, and guess what? He's the only black kid in the class.
Wow.
Yeah, in the entire camp, he's the only black kid. The rest are Indians and Asians. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, I would have probably spent that money on some dumb shit. Let me just go ahead and just put it on him. And today was his last day. He did a presentation. He presented his coding, everything. He did coding and robotics. Wow. So I said, like, you know what? He loves it. You know what? This is what you're gonna do. So I'm gonna go ahead and invest in that.
Exactly. Same thing. My son, he loves. He's in a football camp, and he always, I'm like, I said, Daddy, I'm gonna say before. Sometimes when I sit, I'm like, hold on, why am I saying no? Because I'm gonna use the money for something else. So now I think about it. Whatever your passion is, I'm supporting you.
Because I'm the same way. Like, you see all these camera lenses. I'm really big on tech.
Okay.
I spend money on these things. I'm like, you know what? Because that's my passion. That's my hobby. Okay. I should do the same. You know what? If there's something you want to do, all right, fuck it, let's do it. But you got to do it. I got to see you practicing, constantly doing it. So.
But I think the difference when you grow older, you also realize that your hobbies can make you money. So maybe you buy those things, but then you started utilizing to say, well, man, I can really do something with this. And when you have your kids, you say, well, what if I could turn his hobby and his passion, where he can actually profit from it. And I think that's what we lose things at. Yeah.
Remember, I said that yesterday. I told my kids once they figured out that college wasn't for them, I said, well, what do you like to do? Go fucking do that and do it the best you can. And through the excitement and exuberance of you doing that, your business will grow.
Indeed, I agree with you 100%. Yep.
Good conversation, man. It's a good conversation. We needed something different than complain about women all the goddamn time. We're tired of you niggas talking about women all the time.
Bring something up.
No, you're not. No, you don't have to. You don't have to. This is a choice. You are making a choice right now. You don't have to choose to go that way. You don't have to do it. Control it. Control it.
This is a Maya thing.
No, this is not my thing. Man, she the furthest.
Y'all niggas, y'all dudes love things talking about that shit, man. I'm like being a dead horse here, man. I'm like,
I ain't worried about her. This is the question. We talked about maybe doing that panel for tonight. Strictly Travel. You are in Santo Domingo. Guys go to Sosua to pursue women, to pay for them, to have that. Canal and me have tried to beat in these guys' heads that the quality of women in Santo Domingo that you could get for free are 10 times better than the girls you could pay for in Sosua. Are we lying, or are we telling, or are we being honest?
You're 100% honest. I can testify. I can attest that because I've watched those. That's why, I watched those old. There's endless video on Sosua, and some of the video be putting about like, you guys are really putting this on live. Like, you really get. I can't go to like Agora Mall. I can't go to Plaza Central. I can't go to Plaza Lama. I can go to La Sierra. I can go to Jumbo, and find the exact same thing. Better yet, you can go to the World. You can go to Sahara VIP. You will find.
You go to the Malecon and Santo Domingo. You find it.
Exactly. You can go to the National Colonial. Even Santo Domingo. Listen, I went out the other day with a friend of mine. He lives in La Zona Este. He lives in Sancho Zama. I went to a place called Paris. I saw them there.
Venezuela Avenue.
Bro, I was mesmerized. I was like, where are they coming from? Because, I haven't been out. I was like, seriously? I'm like, and you talk about Sosua, you'll find women that you can actually have a conversation.
Yes.
In Sosua, you don't have conversation,
No.
And I'm looking at this, I'm like, well, is so commercialized. It's been hyped to the extent, like I'm telling you, I keep on saying, I looked at the length of time you're gonna take me to go there. I'm like, it's too much time. It's just a waste of time. Even out of curiosity, I'd rather go to Bonao. I go to Jarabacoa, Constanza.
I've been to Costanza, and bro, I was getting so many chicks pulling at me, man. I'm like, God damn, I didn't know it had talent up here like that, man.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay.
You get normal. I call them homegrown women, like like
and the thing is too, they don't realize if you go to the Campo area, that's where you see them, baddies. But dudes don't. It's like, okay, stay in Sosua, dog. Stay.
You don't even have to go that far, buddy. Where you at? I told guys you can go to Banao.
But exactly Banao.
And they right there. So it's hard. Next time you go to Paris.
Hey, I'll tell y'all right now, just be quiet about it. Just stop talking about it. Let them fools stay where they at and destroy that area. Give up, and then let the people that are in the know that actually listen go to the better places and keep it pure. Don't let it get destroyed and trashed with these guys going out there taking advantage. I'm sorry. That's my old military mindset. Just shut the fuck up. Let them go and stay over there.
Fearless. Have you been to Tipico? It's a restaurant in Bonao.
I have not. No.
It's called Tipico.
No, wait. When you say the restaurant, because every time we drive, no. Every time we drive from Santo Domingo to Santiago, there's always these few restaurants that's right on the side that we always go to. But I don't know.
But typically, you actually have to enter Bonao, bro. Oh, let's go far. Go to Pelicano in Wandolio.
I've been to Wandolio. I've been there before.
Pelicano, I'm like, so I just, I went to Tipica. I was like, when I'm like, it was my wife and I were actually, do you see this girl? Do you see this girl? Because she's cool. We were like kind of like, judging. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, and I was like, I haven't seen in any live stream, in any video in Sosua, any woman of that caliber, because, when you look at, it's not to put them down, but when you look at the quality of women in Sosua, they're so ratchet. I'm sorry. I'm like, and those guys be like, they've been rating them. This is an 8, this is a 9, this is a 10. I'm like, are you guys serious?
Yeah, man.
I don't know what scale you guys are using, but
and strictly, I try to tell the guys this, and because my wife just asked me, ask him if he knows how to dance Tipico, bachata, merengue.
Oh, bachata, merengue. Tell her I even know how to dance perico ripiao.
Oh, man. And I try to tell the guys, I said, look, when I've gone over to Venezuela Avenue, I've gone to the clubs, and I said, I've seen guys. Oh, she just heard you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, I'm immersed with the culture. I love that culture. To me, it's like, I don't know. I just love it.
You hear the excitement. You look at his face. Look at his face. Hear the excitement. How many travel content providers do you hear that from?
You're not gonna hear that
authentically.
You're not gonna see that smile. You're not gonna see the. You're not gonna hear the.
So they're not traveling the right way. If you don't sound like that, you haven't experienced it.
Yeah, I love that music. It's just like that. Yeah.
Like I could bachata, I could merengue. Salsa, I need some work, so I'll be doing some salsa lessons in Cali, Colombia. So I'm gonna find me the darkest, blackest Colombian woman to teach me how to do salsa.
Listen, Black. I grew up in Africa, and I've been to Haiti. I've seen the compa.
Yeah, compa. Oh, turn off the lights, dog. Turn off the lights.
Compa is like it's similar to kizomba.
Yeah.
Bachata and merengue, I'm sorry, that is something else.
Strictly, I try to tell these guys, I said, look,
it's something else.
If you see somebody dancing with real good bachata or merengue, I said, it's almost like having sex on the dance floor. I said, if you get to know a girl The way you can get in close and you dance, I mean, she fall in love with you. Have her right there. I said, you standing like a wallflower. You don't know what to do with. You've been going there these years and you can't still do one step. They don't know how to do. I said,
that goes to it.
It's one two hip.
That's always been true in the United States. If you go in a club and you knew how to dance and stay on the dance floor, chick after chick will run up on you and say, you ain't going nowhere. Get back out here.
Yep.
I picked up so many chicks in the club because I knew how to dance and move. Because the first thing they tell me, if you move like that on the dance floor, I can only imagine.
I heard that
You know what I like about Dominican women?
I gotta see that brother do some bachata merengue the next time. Go ahead.
Yeah. You know what I like about Dominican women? They will take the time and show you how to dance. They will teach you. They will take time and and they will lead you. And I'm like, I was like, this is I'm sorry, I mean, because I think growing up because the Congolese music, it's good. They dance well, but the bachata, the rhythm, the symphony, it's so synchronized. I'm like, you guys saying that because Africans say that bachata came from Africa, from the rumba. I'm like, well, if that's it, then they have it's like if Congolese rumba is 2.0, bachata is 10.0 because the level of dance, the level of coordination is, I've seen those women dancing. I mean, that hip move, the way they be moving there. I'm like, this is something else. I'm like, and it's the coordination. It's something I'm like, I can't just spend, you can go to, even you go to Colmado, where they have those colmadon, like they call them.
Colmadon, to get you that large presidentes and bring out the table and chairs. Right, and
you've seen those women dancing just out of nowhere. Then you're gonna see the Dominican guy will come there and do those steps. You looked at him like, really? I'm like, this is like, I wish I could dance like that. You just, it's mesmerizing. I mean, those guys are just, and those women, they can dance. I mean,
dude, my girl friends be calling me Tigre because it's like, damn, we never knew Kanal could dance. It's like, yeah, I could dance. I mean, I could dance American music. So, and the thing too, I'm Haitian, like kumpa. I could do kumpa. So when I saw bachata, I'm like, okay, that's easy. So I was like, it's just okay, just follow the beat and just leave.
Yeah.
But salsa, that's something that I can't get for some reason, man.
No, me neither. Salsa I've tried. Bachata in America is 1 2 1 2, but it's like 1 2 3. Then but the salsa, that is.
But you know why? Because like me and my girl, I tried to take her there. She couldn't do it because she couldn't count. When you have the music in your blood and you listen to it, it's just how you do it. There, they try to say no. It's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and in American they teach you the way. And she's like, I can't do that. She's like, nobody in her country learns how to count. It's just you listen to the music and you flow.
Follow the beat, flow with it.
Correct. So she couldn't. I'm in there learning good. I got my 8 count down. But the issue is the correct way of learning. The correct way of doing it is not how they do it there. It's like typical how they're going to dance. It's going to be entirely different than that formal way. They're going to spin off. They're going to do something crazy, and it's going to be like, what?
It's like their language. You're going to have a different dialect depending on what part of the country you're in and everything else. And you'll pick up just on dances that person might be from a whole nother town because of the way he moves or that person moves because they picked up that little flair that they got from that town or the way they do it or the way they learned it. But yeah, it's rhythm.
Yeah, rhythm.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, those even my children, I'm like, the dance bachata. I'm like, when did you guys learn how to dance bachata? Because it's like the fact of being Dominican is just like it's embedded in the DNA. I'm like,
it's funny. I know. I look at my son. He was born in Dominican Republic, but I know he's gonna be straight up American. He just got he's gonna be straight up American. I just see it, man. I'm like, he probably speak English to his mom.
He's gonna surprise
to him.
He's gonna surprise you.
I don't agree with that, Kanal, because what's gonna happen is on Saturday morning while your wife is cleaning, she's gonna be cleaning with the mop, listen to some sauce, bachata, and he gonna see her. She gonna pick him up, and because that's how they learn over there.
Yeah,
she pick him up and start dancing with him, and he gonna get it.
That boy's a dance. He's a mama's boy, man.
Mama's boy, yeah.
It's like,
So
God damn.
Where's your wife? She's in the DR?
You'll have time.
No,
You'll get your turn.
Okay.
She's here with me. She's here in Atlanta.
Nice.
Yeah,
I used to live in Atlanta. I used to live in Buckett on Lenox Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. You've been around, man. Like I said, this was a good. This was a good live, man. I'm glad you joined the show. Let me ask you a question. What made you join the show anyway? Because this is the first time.
I've watched you, and as a matter of fact, there's another Haitian brother. I don't know if you know.
Mr. G.
Mr. G. Mr. G came to DR. I've known him well. We hang out together, and he mentioned.
Yeah, he called you a brother from another mother in the chat. I saw that.
Exactly. So black. Yeah, two black men traveler, and I've seen Fearless with Austin Holloman because I've watched him, you know, and then I remember he says, so his whole demeanor, the depth of the conversation that was like, okay, it's something I can actually join in and be able to share because someone who's live, I can only listen because I don't have any input, you know. And yes, I was trying to join in, but then I had some issue with my headset. Somehow it wasn't working. And I couldn't join in. I was like, what's wrong with this thing? Today I was like, when it worked, I'm like, yeah, let me go ahead and join it because it's something quite interesting because it's a mature conversation. It's like grown folks conversation, you know. I like those things. We can actually, there is no, we can have a difference of opinion, but we respect each other's opinion and we will counteract. We challenge ideas. We don't attack each other personally, you know. And that's,
don't worry, strictly child. I'm not gonna find you and try to slam you on your neck, man. You don't have to worry about that.
No, we can't have difference of opinion. We cannot. That's good. We can.
That's how it is in these other live streams. They just quick to threaten you. It's like
and then I'm like, I said, what is the purpose of that? Because it's good to be able to have like a meaningful conversation, and actually get something out of it. Because you have to build something together. Because we never know. Yes, I was asking Phil that he was a consultant. And because he works in architect, in architect, you're a software architect, right?
Yeah, solution architect.
Solution architect. So I was like, that's quite interesting. The reason I was asking because it's huge in the UAE, and people they're making like big bucks doing this. I'm like, this is quite interesting. Then I heard Will talk about these apps, and even I don't know if you saw Elon Musk tweet. He said that Dubai got it. Like Dubai is at that level where they're putting lots of money into because they're still growing. So they put lots of money into they have those think tank where they just
they're doing the wall city. They're doing a lot of things that are futuristic in the way they're developing the desert out there.
Exactly. So once you have that technological background, and not only it's tax free. Think about it, there's no income taxes, on your income. So
here's where I will definitely agree with Kanal in this sense. I think as Americans, people who grew up in America, we learn to be innovative and we can think outside the box. And the reason I say that is in IT, I have a lot of Indian people who work for me. They can do the job, but if you try to take them and say, well, do this, they can't do that. If it's not that structure, they don't know how to think outside the box or move in different ways. And a lot of those UAE countries, they want Americans. They would pay us top dollar if you have an American degree to come over there and do it because they want that innovative thinking to think outside the box.
Indeed.
Yeah, and I try to get guys to say, man, the opportunity is endless. You can do it.
It is endless because, like for instance, my frame of thought. The way I think things, and then I've said it on many occasions. I'm like, if I was able to do things I did, it's because of my U.S. background, because I was actually educated in the United States, and I was able to apply those skills elsewhere. Because, I did my high school in French. Then I did my last year of high school in English. Then I did the university in English as well. Then I did a master in Chile in Spanish. And so I had an opportunity to study in all three languages, French, Spanish, and English. And I looked, I'm like, wow, there's no comparison with the US level of education. Because in Europe, it's lots of theory. When you're done with let's say you're gonna study a computer science. You don't know if you're a computer engineer. You don't know if you're a biologist. You don't know if you're a sociologist, because you have that general knowledge, but nothing specific. Well, in the US, they actually, you would focus on what you were trained to do, and all the different. You have that critical thinking that is lacking. That's why, I mean, I always say, I mean, the US allow you to develop the critical thinking. So it's a whole different system, you know. And small example, Elon Musk, if he did well, if he was in South Africa, Elon Musk would be just a regular, average South African. He was able to achieve greatness because he moved to the United States.
Yes.
The same thing with those Indians that moved from Bangalore to the United States. And then look at it, what we're using right now, if you took a YouTube, those guys, Mark Zuckerberg, all those guys, give me a French or a Belgium or a European guy will create any type of tools that we're actually using now.
Sure.
You won't find any. They all
the guys that were Google, they were actually from another country, but where did they study at?
United States. You realize that that's because, you know, and I've realized that, and that's what the UAE, it's actually mirroring the US system, because they've realized that. Because initially it was based on oil. They say, well, if we want to have a sustainable economy, we need to be next level. Now they have a NASDAQ Dubai. You know, they have what is called an Internet City, where you have Oracle, Google, all those major US companies are there because they've realized that that's the future. And then exactly, you know, because, and then if you look at it, if Dubai is what it is, it's because they're actually mimicking what the United States is like. You know, you realize that the sheikh will make a decision, but behind him, the main thinker are Americans, or the Americans actually didn't want to, you need to do this, you need to do that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Dubai great, because they've learned from the United States and they're actually mimicking that model.
Americans know how to test boundaries and surpass them, where everybody else stays in the box.
Indeed, and the proof is in Dubai, everything is in English. Not in Arabic. I mean, Arabic is like the local language, but you're gonna realize that you go to the airport, it's written Arabic and English, Arabic and English. And Saudi Arabia is trying to catch up into that now, because everything was Arabic, and you realize that even the laws in Dubai have been softened to make it more friendly to Westerners, because they realized that, like before, for instance, if you had a kids out of wedlock, you were getting arrested and getting deported. They changed those laws. If you had a girlfriend, you couldn't go, and they were not married, you couldn't get to the hotel, you know, without them knowing. So it was all those things.
You have to have that temporary license to get married, just to go in the hotel.
Exactly.
Then come back out and
they've changed. They've removed all that nonsense, because they realized that if they kept on going that way, what was going to happen? All the Westerners were going to leave. And now another thing, if you have weed, because, you know, sometimes because people use, they might have weed in the pocket, and by mistake they just, because it's legal in some state in the United States, and they arrive in Dubai, they were getting arrested. Guess what? They changed those laws. So what they do now, if you arrive in Dubai, you have, like, I don't know, you pipe, they will just dispose of it and they let you in. They don't arrest you anymore. So they've softened all those laws to make it more Western friendly, because they've realized that, you know, if they want to keep on growing, they had to adapt.
I would say they realized that way back after the Gulf War, because you know how many private contractors went over to help rebuild Dubai and everything else? They were all Americans.
Yeah. Bro, you know how many Americans are in Dubai? I mean, just crazy. Yeah. They're making.
I mean, they were subcontracting us at $150,000 to $200,000 a year right off the bat.
Tax free.
Tax free. You can have your family go over there. They would pay for 2 vacations to fly you back to the United States. They put your kids in private fucking school.
Exactly.
It was all lined out for Americans to be very comfortable over there to help them rebuild and restructure.
I got a friend who does exactly what Felix does, and he has 3 kids. They go to the best private school that costs. They go to American School of Dubai, which costs like $35,000 or $40,000 a year. All 3 kids school paying for. He lives in the Palm. His bill in the palm is like probably like $1 million, $1.2 million, and everything's taken by the company, and he make like 250. I'm looking at this. I'm like, this guy is living the life. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I'm like, should I keep on being independent or should
no
I
debt?
just
You should
get a
have
job?
no debt by the time you come up out of there, man. I knew guys that did 2 terms over there, and they were scot free. They dropped cash on their houses and
My
come back.
My sister did a 3-year bid in Dubai.
Oh wow!
Came back home, bought 4 properties.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's ridiculous how much money they were making over there.
Because
I had a wife that was
she was there for a nurse, so she was there to train nurses there. And she came back, brought 4 houses cash. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh yeah, they have those.
You know what other country did that? And I did 3 things because I just had to watch this yesterday. The 3 things they did, and I'll tell you what country. The president said our official language is English now. It's no longer, we're in Asia now. It's English. We are going to bring the best people over here to teach us, and they were upset. Like, no, it should be Asians. He said, no, we are bringing the best. And he said he's also going to pay the politicians a lot of money, but corruption will get you life in jail. Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore, yeah.
Yep. That's how they changed.
Yeah.
They went from a nobody, and if you go to Singapore now, you're like, wow.
I know, and they got the independence from Malaysia, and they, because we have I set up a company in Singapore because they have a good banking system, and their income tax is it was 10%, so it's very good. It's very company friendly, and I was surprised.
Very clean city, spotless
very
city.
Clean, small but very efficient, very densely populated. But I was.
It's a standard. It's a standard requirement. All just like Israel, all civilians have to do military service, but they get school for free afterwards.
And I was surprised to see the other in Singapore. I'm like, wow, and how organized they are. Expensive, yes, but the quality of living. And then sometimes because I'm a Dubai resident, I'm like, well. The first time I would say it was 2014. I said maybe I should have stayed in Singapore because I've had my company for like 10 years in Singapore, and I should have been by now I would have been a Singapore citizen, because that was like and it's one of the world's strongest passports that they have in Singapore, Then so I say I should have maintained my residency there, and then but then I moved to Dubai, so I didn't meet the residency requirement for citizenship in Singapore. I was like, wow, I should have stayed in Singapore instead of Dubai, because in Dubai it's nice. I got a 10-year what is called golden visa, but you don't get citizenship.
That's impressive enough. Dubai ain't cheap to get a damn citizenship with.
No, I got the what is called the golden visa, which is a 10-year visa. Yeah, so citizenship is like it's by merit. Like doctors can get them, and then but you still have to be. There's no set requirement. You have to be like invited, and it's by decree. So it's like they have a very sophisticated.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But interesting point that you guys brought up was when you're talking about citizenship. Philippines, by the way, their passport allows you to go to Cuba. You don't have to use your American passport. Once you get a Filipino passport, you can go right into Cuba without showing your citizenship.
You can go to Cuba with American passport.
Yeah, but you're restricted. No. You're restricted. You can't go to use hotels. You can't do certain things.
That's bullshit, man. You
cannot book hotels in Cuba
You're not
like that.
supposed to, Kano.
Yeah. Look, I know,
You're
but
not supposed to.
But Fearless, once we land there, they don't give a flying fuck. It is what it is, man.
The way the law goes is you're not supposed to book a hotel that would help like the government out. So
Correct.
It can't be anything to help the government.
Yeah, but
It's
once you
done,
land, they don't care.
But what you, Sir Strictly Travel, have an advantage of, and if you get your bank account in a DR, you can actually use it while you're in Cuba. Where if you're an American citizen, we had no credit card.
Yeah, no credit cards out there.
Yeah. So Black Man Traveler, you've been to Cuba?
Yeah, I've been there
They
twice.
all have. Yeah.
I've been there twice. I've been there when Obama actually lifted the
Opened it
embargo.
up.
I was one of the first few planes that went there. I took advantage of it. And I went back again with Fearless.
Do you still maintain your Haitian passport?
No, I don't have a Haitian passport. I was born in Bahamas and I was raised here. in the States, so I have American passport.
Okay. You do have a Bahamian passport?
No.
Bro, you need to have you to get
well, here's the thing. In order for me to become a Bahamian citizen, one of my parents had to be Bahamian.
Okay.
And both of my parents are Haitian. So my mother and I told people, in the live stream, I came into this country on a raft boat. I came here during the Cuban crisis.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So during all the Cuban migration, the Haitians were coming in too, and I came in with my mother within the United States on a boat.
Wow, great story. Wow.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't born in Haiti, but by Haitian constitution, as a Haitian, if that is Haitian, automatically you're Haitian. So I went ahead and got my Haitian passport.
I could get a Haitian passport though.
Because it allows me for banking. I'm going to tell you why I'm using my Haitian passport for banking. Like in Dubai, I'm in Dubai as a Haitian citizen because I don't have to do any FATCA. I don't have to deal with any of that because as a U.S. citizen, you are required to declare your worldwide income up to, you exempt for the first $110,000. Anything over $110,000, it's actually, so let's say you make $200,000, you won't pay any taxes of $110,000, but you got to pay tax of $90,000. So I decided to use to set up my company and everything, I use my Haitian passport. Then cool. I have my Congolese passport, I have my American passport, I have my Chilean passport, I have the Argentinian passport, and I also have the British passport. So me, I'm like,
that's what he's doing, and he's leveraging those passports for access in certain countries without limitations. Exactly. That's why I'm saying certain passports give you access immediately without having to go through the limitations that maybe the U.S. has put on their citizens.
Exactly. So now
that's why it's always good to have multiple passports.
I can go anywhere in the world because sometimes I'm like, well, I can't use. I'm looking at where am I going. I'm like, I say, well, which passport am I going to use? I look in the requirements. Like some places in Africa, I can go I need to get a visa with a U.S. passport. Well, then I would use my African passport. Some places in Asia, so it depends on if it's American friendly, then I go there. If it's not, so in the Middle East, the U.S. passport in general, it's well seen. Like when I went to Israel, I had a budget. I want to go to Israel. I want to see. It was a good thing, but I wouldn't go back.
I was going to ask you, how was your experience in Israel?
Well, here's the thing, because my last name is Osias, which is Jewish. So, and my first name is Arabic. So when I arrived in
oh shit.
So when I arrived, it was easy to get in. Leaving, I was thrilled. They asked me how come I was first at the time. That was 2017. At the time, they're not really friendly with Arab at the time, So they asked, well, my first was Arabic and my last name was Jewish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said, well, I have no clues. Let me go back to when I asked my mom why she gave me that name. So they got mad at it. And they say, well, and I came from Malaysia and I came from Turkey, and they asked me, because, Turkey is considered as like the Muslim country. And Malaysia as well. So they asked me, what were you doing there?
Yes.
And I told them, I said, hold on. I'm a free man. I can travel anywhere I feel like it. Wrong answer, bro.
You cannot say that. It's so bad when you go to Israel now. They put a little smiley face on your passport and don't say where you were, because you are set aside and you go into any Muslim country just for going into Israel. So they have this stupid looking stamp when you go into Israel, so it's not included for anybody to look at it and say, "Oh, why were you there?"
When I was there, they gave me an entry card, which was it was blue, and the exit card it's actually just a card that they said that you were granted entry, and when you leave, they give you a red one. So leaving, then when I said that, they put me in the room. They asked me a question: what were you doing in Malaysia? Were you in contact with anybody? I said, not anybody in particular. They said, what do we mean by in particular? I was like, oh my God. I told them, I said, when you travel, you meet people, then you have a conversation. So that's what I mean by that. Okay. So they went to my passport, and guess what? I missed my flight.
Oh shit.
I missed my flight. Then my buddy, who had his American passport, he's ex-Green Beret, so he just went straight through, So then, like, we're traveling together, so he waited for me. I said, well, were you with anybody? I said, yes. They said, what is his name? Then they called the guys in. They said, what? the relationship we have with this. So we were drilled for like a while. Then after, I was able to travel like, wow. And what they like about Israel is like they have those checkpoints everywhere. So my friend is it looks like he has like about Felix complexion. So they thought it was either Egyptian or Yemeni. Me, I look black. They say this guy's black, so no question asked. But when they don't know where you're from, because Ronin and you and Fearless, you guys look like you could be Middle Eastern. So every time you have to show up his passport. And then I was going from Jerusalem from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Then you have to pass the West Bank, Jericho, all that stuff. Then you get, this guy will come with like M16, AK-47, and then you feel like anything can pop up at any time. So you have that insecurity feeling constantly being in Israel. And you're gonna see those young girl. I was, we're in the bus. Then you have this young girl. She looked like she could be like 16, 17. With the M16 or AK-47 like next to us, you're like, this is just a little girl, because they all, Then and in the bus, you're gonna see this guy with shorts with his big machine gun. So you have that constant feeling of like, anytime something can happen. So that's what they like about Israel. The historical point was very nice. Jerusalem and Jericho. I went to see all those historical, all those biblical sites, and it was very nice to see. But the level of insecurity that you feel, that's the part they like about it. But it's a nice city. The nightlife in Tel Aviv, I thought we were going to be conservative because I thought they like Jewish, bro. I had so much fun in Tel Aviv. The women were very friendly, and I was surprised to see they were like very, like, they have no issue with brothers. I was like, really? I'm like, this is Israel, it's Tel Aviv. I thought I was going to be in a place where very conservative. No, I had a great time. The only thing I didn't like was when you travel across, you have all those checkpoints, and you might walk across, they ask for your passport, things I'm not used to. So that's the part I didn't like about Israel. Yeah.
Hey, it's getting late for me because I got to get up early, man. But hey, Strictly Travel, man, it was a pleasure, bro. I appreciate it.
Pleasure, my friend.
A fellow Zoe, a fellow ICMN, you know what I mean? So we got to stay in touch.
Let's stay in touch.
And hey, man, Fearless, great show, man. Great show, man.
Oh, we like it. I love that we can have a mature conversation. We may not agree on everything, but I think that's what makes the panel much better. We don't live in an echo chamber. We can still disagree, agree, and we can all come to a point. Just think about this. You can all have one opinion before you came on. You were able to convince them of something else. Say, I can see it your way. And I love that about us being men, that we're able to be open-minded enough that we can listen to other people's viewpoints. And that may change our viewpoints. I told you I'm only right 99.97% of the time.
Shit. Man. Fuck out of here with that shit, man.
So, but question, Ronin, what is your background? I know you're black, but what is your background?
You're gonna go like I'm gonna get out here, man.
But I'm a legitimate mutt, but my strongest background is Cameroon, Congo, Benin, Togo. So I have a strong background on the, I guess the west coast of Africa.
Okay, West Africa.
But my people are from Creole, French Creoles, and from the East Coast. I do have that the English and Irish in me as well. So I'm a mutt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you have that DJ Khaled look.
Oh shit. I do know in my travels in foreign countries, like you said, and I found out even with my mom, she has some Malaysian, Singaporean in her. So in my travels, I've gone to the Philippines and places like Asian old ladies would sit there and talk to me in their native language like I should understand them. So yeah. I've always been confused going into these countries as somebody that belonged there. So I've always been quite comfortable in accepting, the cultures, because I always felt at home, no matter where I was in whatever country it was.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, but I have a friend in Congo who reminds me so much of Fearless.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Look, hold on. I put his name on the private chat. Just Google him. just as is, and just look at pictures. It reminds me so much of Fearless. I put his name
You
on.
might have a twin, Fearless. I found out about my family like that. I lost a lot of my family. I did that. I did the blood test, and I found out a lot of people that looked like me were actually family of mine, and I didn't realize until recently.
Google him, Fearless, and look at pictures.
And I'm gonna show everybody. Hold on, give me 1 second. Then we're gonna let Kanal get out of here. He rubbing his eyes.
That's all good. You know what? I'm gonna drop off, but guys, it was a pleasure, man. Hold up.
Always, Fearless. I mean,
like right there.
Yeah, that looks like your brother, man. That looks like he could be a cousin of yours.
Oh,
he looks
wow.
like he could be a cousin of yours, man.
Right there. What the hell?
Yeah, he looks like he could be a cousin of yours. Crazy.
Well, to stay long. I don't want to stay. I'm gonna let everyone go, man. This was a great live, and now I finally found my brother from another mother that I gotta go visit. We appreciate it. And you are welcome, like he said, you are welcome to come on anytime.
Absolutely.
People who have stayed on this long, if you have not subscribed, it looks like you have a channel too, Strictly Travel.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's called Street Travel. Yeah.
Please make sure that you subscribe, comment, and hit the notification button for all of us in here.
Absolutely.
Please support great Black men content. And until next time, actually till next Friday. But
next
we'll have
Friday.
somebody else between.
For Lions Den.
Please join us. You want something mature?
One thing. Hey, Sugar Travel, man, if you ever need me to jump on as a guest, man, let me know.
Perfect. Will do. Thanks a lot, my friend.
No problem, man.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Later, guys.
Okay.
Yep.
Good night. Okay.
Maybe I'll play this outro real quick. Give me 1 second, my man, and we'll get out of here. Maybe not. If you guys are staying this long, y'all need to subscribe. Kanal's already in the bed.
Shit, that motherfucker went running to the bed.